You are watching SSS-Class Snuff-It Hunter. Right, so the story kicks off with some newsbirds spluttering out a breaking bulletin from Babylon. The Black Dragon mobs decided to have a crack at the 40th floor of the tower. She's going on about how they're dead certain they're going to show everyone what a top-tier crew can do. On the telly, the big headline screams, "Black Dragon, another bottle job at being world's first." The guild's future is, the reporter adds, all gutted, they've come back with Nat again. And once more, the reason Black Dragons come a cropper is none other than today's main man, the #1 ranked hunter. Yet again, Flame Emperor's gone and twatted the boss all on his lonesome. "All right, Flame Emperor Nim," the reporter chirps. Yeah, all right," Yusuha replies, dead casual. Without missing a beat, the reporter carries on. "You've gone and smashed another record." Yusuha sat there, absently picking his luggols. The reporter plows on. "Ever since the tower showed, Flame Emperor, you're still the only one who's taken down a boss solo. Reckon you've got a few words for us?" Suddenly, Yusuha nicks the mic and goes, "Enough of that. Why don't you change my bloody title first, yeah?" The reporter, proper baffled, stammers, "Eh?" Yusuha scoffs, "I'm on about Flame Emperor. Why not just use my actual name instead of this daft moniker? What sort of name is Flame Emperor? Might as well call me the Plague. It's that cringy. Turns out Flame Emperor is a right dodgy play on words in Korean, proper insulting, like calling him a plague or a right nuisance." Meanwhile, Kim Gongja's watching Yusuha on his laptop and thinking, proper envious. Kim Gongja sat alone on his bed, having a right old mole. Yusuha carries on. "I'm gonna find the tosser who gave me this nickname and give him what for." The reporter quickly apologizes. "Sorry, mate." Kim Gongja mutters to himself, "Must be nice to just say whatever you fancy." He checks his phone and sees a message. "Did you lot see Flame Emperor's interview? He's off his rocker again." Another message says, "Leave him be, ain't the first time." The cat pipes up, "The whole world's watching, he should watch his gob." The blonde bird adds, "Why's his nationality matter at the tower? Honestly, I don't reckon there's out wrong with his attitude. He's already a legendary level hunter." Kim Gongja says again, "I want to be like Flame Emperor and all." The cat responds, "The L? You a Flame Emperor fanboy? You seriously sticking up for him for this?" The blonde shrugs, "I'm just stating facts." Everyone knows what he's like. Even the telecompanies know, but they still air his interviews. Kim Gongja repeats, "I want to be like Flame Emperor too," the city skyline says. "Don't know how the Saintess can go out with him with that personality. Is that why they call her the Saintess?" The cat responds, gobsmacked, "What? The Saintess is dating the Flame Emperor." The blonde nods. "Yeah, my mate's a hunter, and he said he saw 'em together." Kim Gongja murmurs, "I want to be like Flame Emperor too." The lily replies, "What you on about? The Saintess is my mate, and she said it's not true." Kim Gongja repeats, "I want to be like Flame Emperor too." The cat, proper miffed by the way, "Who the hell is this geezer who keeps saying the same thing?" Kim Gongja carries on typing on his phone, "I want to be like Flame Emperor." As he types, he says to himself, "I want to be like Flame Emperor and all." Meanwhile, the reporter asks, "Right then, Mr. Flame Emperor." Kim Gongja says, "Must be mint to have everyone hanging on your every word, and I've heard he's got loads of jealous assets and all." Yusuha exclaims, "Wow, you're still calling me Flame Emperor? I said call me by my name." Kim Gongja thinks again. If this world were a novel, a bloke like him'd definitely be the main character, and I'd just be an extra. The reporter finally asks, "Mr. Yusuha, there's loads of wannabe hunters who look up to you and give it their all. Awakening soon after entering the tower in your early 20s, twatting a boss monster that Black Dragon's been trying to beat for 10 years, less than a month after. You're literally writing legends. Go on, tell your aspiring fans the secret to success in one sentence." Yusuha sighed. "Fine, I'm really just going to say a few words so you lot figure it out. Them that's going to succeed will succeed, but don't get in my way, even if you do succeed, or I'll do you in." He turned away and the crowd yelled, "Flame Emperor! What did you mean by that? Flame Emperor!" With that, the broadcast wrapped up. To the viewers watching, Kim Gongja suddenly snapped his laptop shut and sat there in silence on his bed, tears welling up. He muttered, "I'm so bloody mad. Is it all right to just blank people once you've got that big?" Though the reporter was the one getting ignored, it felt like it was Kim Gongja. If I just had one decent skill like Flame Emperor, he thought, then I wouldn't need to live in this bloody studio. I wouldn't be looked down on for being a lowly F-class hunter with no skills. He whispered to himself, I want to become just like Flame Emperor. He tore the papers off his wall and shouted, I'm so bloody jealous. I want to succeed with my own skills too, or how mint would it be if Flame Emperor's skill was mine? As if in answer, a bright light shimmered above him. Kim Gongja, baffled, looked up and muttered, This is a scene I've only seen 1,000 times in vids. Could it be a skill card? A system notification flashed, an unsightly envy that's yet to be found in history. Kim Gongja blinked. Another system notification appeared. The tower, gobsmacked by your determination, chucks you a skill. Kim Gongja, still confused, said, hang on. More notifications followed. The tower is moved by your determination. The tower rewards you for your honest graft. The tower praises you for your achievements. Kim Gongja stared, still baffled. This is different from what I saw in the vids. Now, why should I care about its tone when I just got a skill card? This is the moment I've been waiting for ever since I got here. He looked at the gold card in his hand. On top of that, it's a gold card. He took the skill card and read its description aloud. An S-rank skill. More system notifications appeared, generating a skill card. Skill card generated. The description read, I want to become like you. Rank +. Effects. Activates automatically upon death. You can nick one of the skills of someone who does you in and make it yours. You can't nick a skill from targets that have already killed you before. Skills are randomly nicked. However, you'll snuff it, Kim Gongja muttered. You can nick one of the skills of someone who does you in and make it yours. However, he froze. You'll die. Frustrated, he shouted, What sort of skill is this? Kim Gongja carried on narrating. The tower appeared in this world without warning. You could see it on the horizon from anywhere on Earth. Them with naught to lose went into the tower first and saw what was inside. Each floor was filled with monsters from other worlds. A few of them that went in were chosen by the tower and got a skill, and them that heard the rumours flocked to the tower to hunt monsters. He paused, then added, I saw Flame Emperor on the battlefield once. On the news, the hero who'd cleared the 40th floor was being discussed. One bloke on the telly said, he was really dancing with the flame spear like they said. It was like Nataraja, like the god of destruction Shiva. Kim Gongja sighed and said, Boss, let's watch something else. The boss asked, Why? It's getting pretty good. You don't like Flame Emperor. The bloke on the telly continued, He's achieved rank 1, but his attitude's still the same. He's really not like the other guys. Kim Gongja sighed. No, it's not that, he thought to himself. This is the sort of hero humanity needs right now. Kim Gongja said, There's people who live like him. And then there's people like me, whose life is like a game with bad luck. The boss groaned. Another one of these. He sighed. Kim Gongja continued, Please listen. I rolled an S+ skill yesterday, but if I use that bloody skill, I'll die. I didn't even report it to the Hunters Association. Frustrated and trembling with anger, he cried, Cuke! I'd feel worse if I had to say that that was my skill. You! The boss shouted, Chuck up outside. A few moments later, a system notification appeared. Today's Hunter ranking. 1. Flame Emperor 2. Black Dragon 3. Viper. Kim Gongja leaned against the wall, groaning. Ew, my head. Suddenly he heard a shout. Miss Saintess Isabel, kyak! Miss Saintess Isabel cried. Please move, Flame Emperor. Yu Suha raised an eyebrow. Wow, nice acting. If someone saw, they'd believe you were innocent, yeah? Miss Saintess Isabel, terrified, looked at the vial in her hand as Yu Suha spoke. I poisoned the drink you just had. Basilisk stomach acid. It's what you were going to try to feed me. As Miss Saintess Isabel stared at the vial in fear, Yu Suha added, "Wow, if it weren't for my skill, I'd have been in a right mess." He casually chucked the vial, which smashed on the ground. Miss Saintess Isabel stammered, It's a misunderstanding. I just wanted to clear the tower as a team with you." Yu Suha replied, "That's what I thought too. But I was wrong," Miss Saintess Isabel pleaded. "Please, let's just talk. I can explain this." Kim Gongja thought to himself, what? Weren't they going out? Is that not true? He furrowed his brow. What sort of couple talks like that? Yu Suha smirked. Talk? That sounds good, more professional. But I get to decide the rules of the conversation. As Yu Suha grabbed Miss Saintess Isabel by the neck, Kim Gongja thought, it's a conversation between someone who wants to kill and someone who wants to survive. Yu Suha said coldly, "I'll ask the questions. You just need to nod to answer." Miss Saintess Isabel struggled, gasping for air. Yu Suha continued, "I've got a lie detection skill. Don't try to lie to me. If you answer all my questions, I might give you the antidote. Answer me. Who told you to kill me? Was it the witch from Black Dragon?" Miss Saintess Isabel thought to herself, he's achieved rank 1, but his attitude's still the same. He's really not like the other guys. She looked down and nodded. Yu Suha said, "That's what I thought. This is the sort of hero humanity needs right now." As his arms ignited in flames, he continued, "Ta-ra, Saintess Isabel." She screamed in agony as flames engulfed her. Kim Gongja was shocked and whispered to himself, "Hero? That thing? A murderer? A psychopath?" He scrambled to get away, shouting, "Gag! I've got to leg it!" But he stepped on a bottle, making it clink loudly. He glanced back, only to see Yu Suha staring at the alley. Yu Suha said, "Oh! I thought I chased all the rats out of this area, but there's still one left." Kim Gongja thought to himself, "Them's the eyes of a murderer. The Saintess wasn't the first." Then he panicked. How many's he killed until now? 10s? 100s? Or even... As he tried to run, he tripped and fell, shouting in pain. "Ah!" He looked at his shoes and sighed. "Me foot," Kim Gongja panted. "Ah, ah." Sweating in fear, he continued. "Ah, ah, ah." Yu Suha walked slowly toward him, like a villain closing in on his prey. Kim Gongja pleaded, "Please." Yu Suha scoffed. "So why do you run then?" Kim Gongja begged. Please, Flame Emperor, please." Yu Suha coldly asked, "Oi, did you see it?" Tears streamed down Kim Gongja's face as he trembled in fear. "I didn't see Nout. I didn't see Nout at all." Yu Suha's voice was steady. "What did you not see?" He grabbed Kim Gongja by the throat, his grip tightening. "So, you called me Flame Emperor, and claimed you didn't see whatever you didn't see. I almost want to believe you, if I were a complete div." Kim Gongja gasped. I won't tell anyone, please." Yu Suha hissed, "If you don't want to end up like the Saintess, then talk." Kim Gongja thought of Yu Suha as a demon. Yu Suha asked, "Which bastard sent you? Are you from Black Dragon too?" Kim Gongja, overwhelmed by fear, thought to himself, This world was entranced by this guy." Kim Gongja stammered, "A lie detection skill." Yu Suha raised an eyebrow, confused. Kim Gongja said, "You said. You had it. If you use it, you'll see I'm nobody." Yu Suha was puzzled. "What lie detection skill?" Kim Gongja swallowed, then added, You killed that person. Without any evidence? Just 'cause they were a bit dodgy." Yu Suha snapped. "Oi, what sort of person do you think I am?" He released Kim Gongja, who fell to the ground with a gasp. "Quick!" Yu Suha looked at him. "The Saintess was really trying to kill me. If I don't kill her today, she'll poison me tomorrow." Kim Gongja gasped. "Cook, how do you know that?" Yu Suha replied coolly, "I just know. I've got away, and anyways, since you were crying about the lie detection skill, I guess you really are innocent." Yu Suha grabbed Kim Gongja's head and said, "But you still did see everything." His hands ignited as he said, "So just die. Me name's Yu Suha. Tara! In another scene, Kim Gongja's headmaster called out to him, Kim Gongja, your name's Gongja, so you must become a great person, like Confucius. Kim Gongja responded, Yes, headmaster. He thought to himself, I don't want to die this way. A system notification appeared. You have died. V. As he lay on the floor, Kim Gongja thought to himself, Why do I have to die like this? No, why did I have to live like this? Another notification followed. Because of your death, the skill requirements have been met. Kim Gongja sighed. I could have lived a bit better. Then another notification appeared. Copy and Hunter Yu Suha's skill completely. A new notification flashed. Create in a skill card. Kim Gongja whispered, I deserved a bit better. He said to himself, Gold. Another notification appeared. Select a skill card. Kim Gongja thought desperately, If I had another chance, just one more. The notification said, Selection complete. Copy and skill. Suddenly, Kim Gongja woke up. His laptop was playing the news, and the reporter said, Babylon breaking news. The Black Dragon Guild is aiming to clear floor 40 today. They said they'd show us the skills of the top guild. Unfortunately, they came back empty-handed once again. Kim Gongja suddenly sat up in shock, exclaiming, What? He stared at his laptop, and the reporter continued, The Flame Emperor has solo cleared the boss once again. Kim Gongja, still confused, muttered, What is this? What happened? When did I come back home? He looked at his phone, and then it clicked, A voice from his cat echoed, Did you lot see the Flame Emperor interview? He's acting crazy again. On his laptop, Yu Suha's voice cut in. I'm on about the Flame Emperor. Why don't you use me real name instead of that shitty nickname? Kim Gongja was stunned and looked at his phone. Why? This all happened yesterday. Just now, I definitely. He raised his hand and said, Skill card, open. One of his skills flashed on the screen. I want to be U rank plus effect, activates upon death. After dying to an opponent, you can nick one of their skills and make it your own. Kim Gongja muttered to himself, There's no way. Did I nick the Flame Emperor's skill when I died? A system notification appeared. Returner's Clockwork Watch. Rank, X effect, activates upon death. Returns the user to 24 hours prior to death. After returning, all memories and abilities are retained. However, as the hunter's level increases, so will the penalties. Skill nicked from Hunter Yu Suha. Kim Gongja's eyes widened. I go back 24 hours prior to me death, with all me memories and abilities. Return, this is the legendary hunter's power. He suddenly understood, so that's why he killed the saintess. Kim Gongja remembered Yu Suha saying, I just know. I've got a way of figuring things out, because she would have poisoned him the day after, and he killed me too, even though I'm innocent. Meanwhile, the reporter asked, Please tell your aspiring fans the secret to success in one sentence. Yu Suha answered coolly, Them that's gonna succeed will succeed. But don't get in my way, even if you do succeed, or you'll die. Kim Gongja muttered to himself. Die? Let's see who snuffs it this time. A few moments later, Kim Gongja shouted, Fire! He looked outside and gasped, Holy, what do we do? He grabbed his dagger and rushed outside. A person in the crowd yelled, Don't just stand there, let's go put it out. Shift it. Kim Gongja thought to himself, The place I live in ain't the same as the outside world. It's a city created by the people who came to the tower, aspired to be hunters. The first floor. Kim Gongja ran toward the fire. No way, is it already? He checked his phone and muttered, It's the same time as when I was drinking. The Flame Emperor set fire to the building to cover the evidence. A person in the crowd shouted, Water users, don't just use your skills willy-nilly. Time it right and use them together. The Black Dragon Guild's leader, the Black Witch, announced, The Black Dragon Guild will take over temporarily. Please cooperate with us for a moment. Kim Gongja thought to himself, The city went by many names. the leader of the Alchemist Guild, rank 5 healer and pharmacist Castellan, said, "The perimeter's secure. Now, the problem's the survivors still inside. We need a rescue team." Kim Gongja thought again. Some call it Babylon. Others call it First Floor City. The Holy Knight, rank 10 urban vigilante captain, said, "That won't be a problem. This area's been deserted for 5 years. I guess we can be thankful for that." Kim Gongja mused, and a few call it Lantern City, but it all means the same thing. It's the city you can't leave once you enter. A man shouted, "Bring more fire extinguishers. Are there any more water ability users?" Kim Gongja thought to himself, the citizens of this city have to live in these extreme situations. That's well weird, Kim Gongja mused. Why ain't the Saintess shown up yet? She's not the type to be late for this sort of thing. The paladin said to the master alchemist, "She said she had work tonight. Maybe she's on a date. I see her with the Flame Emperor quite a bit, like." The master alchemist frowned. "I don't like that bloke. I've got a bad feeling about him." Suddenly Yusuha rocked up and went, "Wow, damn, who's playing with fire without my say-so?" Kim Gongja's heart dropped. "He's here." The paladin greeted him. "Welcome, Flame Emperor," Yusuha replied. "Dead casual. Yeah, Hyungnim's here. As you can see, the old slum's on fire. Reckon you could give us a hand?" Kim Gongja clenched his dagger tight, fuming that psychopath, asking for a reward to put out a fire he started himself. Someone in the crowd chimed in. "You'll get praised for doing a good deed, just like the rank one," Yusuha scoffed. "You reckon I give a toss what they think?" Kim Gongja, proper livid, thought, who cares about his personality? He's already a legend. Let's be real. Who doesn't know he's a right tosser? Yusuha turned to leave. "I don't do community service. Later." Kim Gongja gritted his teeth. He ain't like other hunters. Nobody knows. They all think he's a hero with a quirky personality. Only I know the true face of that murderer. I've got to kill him. Suddenly Kim Gongja span round, and a voice shouted, "Sir, where you going?" "It's dangerous." Kim Gongja slapped the person's hand away, muttering to himself, "For mankind, for the hunter's honor. Hunters are them that hunt monsters, regardless of the methods or means." "Sir, get a grip!" someone yelled as Kim Gongja charged at Yusuha, dagger in hand. That monster deserves to be put down, Kim Gongja thought, as he ran into the flames. A man shouted, "There's fire!" Kim Gongja ignored the pain as his body burned. "Ah, it's bloody hot." The people around him gasped in shock, but Kim Gongja thought, "It burns, but this is the only way to kill that monster." A system notification flashed. "You have died." Another followed, returning to 24 hours prior. Kim Gongja woke up, hearing the news blare. Babylon breaking news. The Black Dragon Guild has decided to attack the 40th floor. Kim Gongja nodded to himself. Good, the skill's working proper. A system notification said, "Your current hunter rank is F. There were no penalties for using this skill." Kim Gongja muttered, "I suppose an F rank like me has no penalties. For now, killing the Flame Emperor's impossible. Even if I get lucky, that bastard can just go back 24 hours. This is his skill anyway. So the only way a hunter like me can hunt that guy is..." He looked at his dagger, deep in thought. The news reporter asked Yusuha, "When did you first awaken?" Yusuha replied, "The summer when I was 21. So it's been about 11 years. The lady remarked, "Since you remember in detail, you must have a good memory." Yusuha replied, "It's not that. The day I awakened was my birthday, so anyway, that was 2 years ago, June 7th. Kim Gongja, calculating, murmured to himself while holding his knife. 4,050 days ago from today. I've got to die 4,050 times to get to that bastard before he awakened. He clenched his fist, then ended his own life. A system notification said, "You have died." Suddenly, Kim Gongja woke up again. A system notification said, "Returning to 24 hours prior." Panting in fear, Kim Gongja whispered to himself, "Now it's only 4,049 days left. He stabbed himself again. A system notification said, "You have died," and again, "You have died." Kim Gongja screamed in agony. Arg, another system notification, returning 24 hours back. Another system notification. There were no penalties for using this skill. Another system notification. You have died. Kim Gongja grimaced. 2020 days. Looking at his dagger, another notification flashed. You have died. Kim Gongja muttered. 543 days. A few days later, Kim Gongja smiled in excitement as he faced his dagger, saying, "Last!" And he stabbed himself again. Day 1. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Kim Gongja rested on his bed. He sat up, looked at the clock and said to himself, "It worked. I came back to the time before the Flame Emperor's legend was written." Kim Gongja sighed and stood up. "I died 30 times more than I planned. From the time it took to kill myself to the time it took to rest in between, the trials I endured so that demon's legacy don't live on." He put on his hood and walked outside. "Now to find my prey." 11 years ago, May 6th. At 11 in the morning, Kim Gongja stood in front of a building, stalking Yu Suha. Yu Suha's phone rang. "Good morning, Bab." Yu Suha woke up, groaning. "Ugh, my head hurts." Kim Gongja and Yu Suha both muttered, "I shouldn't have drunk so much." Kim Gongja thought to himself, "For the perfect execution, I decided to replay this day about 10 times. At 9 a.m., he wakes up and leaves the F-rank Hunter apartment. Yu Suha sighed. "I've got to go to work. Work. Ha, this miserable life." Kim Gongja thought to himself, at 3 p.m., he hunts slimes on the 2nd floor of the tower. Yu Suha muttered, "Damn it, hunting slimes every single day is pissing me off." Yu Suha shouted in frustration. "Freak! When do I get to live lavishly like the Sword King?" Kim Gongja thought to himself. As a 21-year-old, he's a typical F-rank hunter, waiting for his life to turn around. Yu Suha sighed. "Can't I just win the lottery or something? Or get an S-rank skill?" Kim Gongja thought. Normally, he would have got his wish in about a week. As a slime jumped toward Kim Gongja, he swiftly attacked it with his dagger. Kim Gongja muttered, "But you don't get to have that future." He wiped slime off his hood, feeling a mix of frustration and determination. At 5:31 p.m., Yu Suha said, "Going to the 6th floor." Kim Gongja thought to himself, he can't live hunting slimes anymore, so Yu Suha's going to a higher difficulty area that most beginner hunters don't dare enter. The 6th floor. For the next 36 minutes, there'll be no one but him in this area. Kim Gongja called out, "Oi, Hunter Nem!" Yu Suha glanced back. "Huh?" Kim Gongja hesitated before saying, "But please help. I got attacked by wolves. Please, lend me a potion." Yu Suha scoffed. "Ah, damn, what did you already touch the monsters here? Then today's hunt's over." Kim Gongja begged, "I beg you, potion." Yu Suha crossed his arms. "What you on about? I can't even fill my daily quota. How much you gonna give me?" Kim Gongja stammered. "Sorry." Yu Suha raised an eyebrow. "How much you gonna give me for the potion? I can't even make enough today. And you want me to give you this expensive potion for free? And to a bloke I've never even seen before. Have some manners." Kim Gongja noticed the potion in Yu Suha's hand. "That potion costs 20 gold at the Chemist Guild. I'll pay you 20, please." Yu Suha snickered. "I don't think you get it. You look like you're dying and you can only pay 20. Is your life only worth that much?" Kim Gongja clenched his fists. "Then, 40 gold." Yu Suha smirked. "Scratch that. Give me everything you've got." Kim Gongja sighed inwardly. "I knew it." Yu Suha grabbed Kim Gongja's wallet. "Let's see." He counted 1, 2, 3, around 60 gold. "How you this poor? Carry some more money with you." Kim Gongja whispered, That's all I have." Yu Suha laughed. "Don't worry, I'll use it well." Kim Gongja thought, "It's just how life is in it." Kim Gongja hesitated. "The potion, please." Yu Suha pulled out an arrow. I've been thinking, if I let you go here, you might come back for revenge later. I want to live without regrets, and since you've seen my face. Kim Gongja thought, regret. Yusuha grinned. So why don't you go ahead and die? Kim Gongja smirked. Right, he ducked and kicked Yusuha in the knackers. I'll live with no regrets after this. Yusuha screamed in pain. Ah, damn. Kim Gongja swiftly drew his dagger and slashed at Yusuha. Yusuha staggered from the blow. Kim Gongja exhaled sharply. Ha! A fountain of blood erupted from Yusuha. Kim Gongja rushed forward, stabbing Yusuha in the head. I can't let a life-threatening incident trigger your awakening, so I'll make sure you're gone. He stood over Yusuha's body, catching his breath. Yusuha, despite the fact that you killed me, something was weird about that time. Why would you tell me your name? Yusuha, in his dying moments, rasped, My name is Yusuha. Goodbye. Kim Gongja grimaced. I realized after 4,090 days, you were pretending to be a knight in a sacred duel. He stepped on the spear Yusuha had left behind. Kim Gongja's mind flashed with memories of what Yusuha had done to the saintess. His anger flared. How dare you, after hurting all those people? He fell silent, his thoughts racing turning around. Kim Gongja saw the wolves. Want to eat this bloke? Go right ahead. The wolves immediately descended on Yusuha's body, devouring him. Kim Gongja turned and walked away. He found a hiding spot and began to dig. Inside, he uncovered a bag and water bottles. After changing clothes, he covered the hole with his jacket and donned a new one. Kim Gongja murmured, To the first floor, is it really over? He transferred to the first floor city. Moments later, he thought, Ah, it's a vigilante. As Kim Gongja walked, a guard noticed him but merely yawned, uninterested. Kim Gongja sighed to himself. Ah, it's over. No one knows what happened. The raid on the 10th floor failed again today. No one. The Sword King, the #1 ranked hunter, hasn't participated in any raids. Because of this, harsh criticisms about him are rising by the day. The Flame Emperor Yusuha's disgusting legend is no longer in this world. Kim Gongja grinned. Boss, one more beer, please. The waiter handed him a fresh glass and said, You're drinking a lot today. Did the hunt go well? Kim Gongja replied, Yeah, it did. It was my best yet. He thought to himself, although everyone from ranks 2 to 7 challenged the 10th floor together. Some are suggesting that the ranking system's useless. Kim Gongja picked up his glass of beer and said, Open hunter ability window. A system notification appeared. Name Kim Gongja. Rank F. Skills 2, 4, 1. I want to become like you, plus passive. 2. Return as clockwork watch X, passive. 3. None. 4. None. Kim Gongja smiled. Kya. This makes me drink taste even better. Just look at these precious skills. He paused. But I don't have any offensive abilities. Is this the greed of being human? Kim Gongja. If you want more than this, you're just a robber. Just think about what you can do with this current skill set. I could win the lottery from the Merchant Guild, give and take. I could also sell info about the secrets of the higher floors. Ha ha! My life's turned around, I'm set for life. Where should I go from here? Suddenly an old, sharp-eyed bloke entered the pub and said, Milk. Put a little vodka and sugar and some warm milk. Honey would be better than sugar, though. The waiter blinked and said, But I'm not a bartender. Kim Gongja thought to himself, What a weird old codger. The old man shrugged. I'll pay you extra, don't worry. Someone in the pub whispered, Oi, that guy, I think he's the real deal. His mate asked, Why's he here? Kim Gongja thought, especially in times like this. Even if it's just to boost the morale of other hunters, he's involved in discussions about joining forces with others. Kim Gongja stared at the old man, shocked. Where's the Sword Saint now? What could he be doing? A system notification appeared. Sword Saint. Real name. Marcus Callenberry. Babylon News. Sword Saint. Missing for 22 days. Could this be the worst loss for the Hunters Association? Kim Gongja thought to himself. It had been a while since he went missing. So I guess he was forgotten after 2 years, until Flame Emperor Yu Suha made a name for himself as the undisputed top ranker. That guy must be the greatest now. That means he must have an S-rank skill, right? Not some weird skill like mine, but a solid offensive one. A system notification popped up. I want to become like you. Rank S+ effect activates upon death. After dying to an opponent, you can copy one of their skills and make it yours. You cannot copy a skill from targets that have already killed you previously. Skills are randomly copied. However, you'll die, Kim Gongja thought to himself. Wait, that skill. Will I copy the skill of any hunter that kills me, even if it's this era's rank number 1? And I don't even die anymore. I could definitely do this. He remembered a few anonymous posts. I heard he was a father of some super rich European family. No one really knows what skill he has. I heard he had everything but threw it all away to come to the tower. I heard he has a habit of talking to himself. Kim Gongja muttered, "What the? This guy's a complete mystery. There's no good info on him at all. It would have been great if this guy were even half as egotistical as Flame Emperor." Suddenly, Marcus Callenberry, the Sword Saint, shouted, "Shut your mouth! Don't be so loud!" Kim Gongja was startled. "That surprised me," Marcus Callenberry continued. "Would you even know how he feels?" Kim Gongja thought. I guess he really does talk to himself. Is it a must for all top rankers to have something wrong with them? He read a warning message. Warning. Something you should never say in front of the Sword King. 8 months ago, I saw this happen with my own eyes. If you don't want to die, then never say this to the Sword King. As an adventurer shouted at Marcus Callenberry, "Old man, this is a public hunting space, so let's keep some rules, yeah? Don't you see we reserved this spot?" A few days ago, some high-ranking hunters started to pick a fight with him. Marcus Callenberry said, "That's pretty odd. I haven't heard anything about that." A man laughed. "Ha! Maybe it's time to change your hearing aids, or maybe your head's so far up your arse that you can't hear looking at your personality. I bet your grandchildren are outside." Marcus Callenberry stared at him seriously. Without a word, he suddenly slashed at the man. Kim Gongja was stunned. "You're saying the Sword Saint killed a human? I bet this writer works for a big guild. Ain't he just spreading rumors?" "I don't care if you don't believe me," Kim Gongja thought angrily. "I just thought you lot might want to know, so I shared it. Anyways, if you don't want to die, then don't mention the Sword Saint's grandchildren around him. That's a word you should never say to him." Sword Saint Marcus Callenberry slammed the table and growled, "Quiet! I'll take care of it, so leave me alone. You're making my vodka taste bad." Kim Gongja thought to himself, "This is worth testing sword." Saint Marcus Callenberry grunted and said, "Thank you for the drink." The waiter smiled. "Have a good day, sir." As Marcus Callenberry exited the pub, the others suddenly looked at the door. A lady sighed. "Finally, he's gone." Her boyfriend asked, "Does he have dementia? Why is he talking to himself?" The lady's secret lover muttered, "I really thought he'd never leave." Kim Gongja turned to the waiter. "Thank you so much. Here's the money." The waiter nodded. "Ah, thank you. Please come again." As Kim Gongja stepped outside, he muttered to himself, "Now, where are you, Rank 1? Where'd he go? I came out right after he left, so he couldn't have gone far." A few moments later, Kim Gongja grinned to himself. "Found him. That's the only bloke who dresses like that in Babylon, so it wasn't too hard to spot him. I wonder what sort of skill he's got. The Flame Emperor had an X-rank rare skill. What about the guy who was the top in the previous generation? Maybe he's got something even better than returning, and that skill'll soon be mine, as long as my lucky streak keeps up." Suddenly, Sword Saint Marcus Callenberry's voice rang out. Around here should be good." Kim Gongja froze, confused. Marcus Callenberry called out, "Come out now, youngster." Kim Gongja cursed inwardly. He found me out instantly. If it's here, then no one'll know what happens. As Marcus Callenberry waited, Kim Gongja hesitated before stepping forward. "Excuse me, I have a request." Marcus Callenberry grinned. "Huh, Kim Gongja was shocked. What? Marcus Callenberry said. Request? Ah, so that's why you pretended to be tailing me. What did you want from this old man that you came at me like this? Kim Gongja blinked in confusion. Huh, he thought to himself. He thinks I purposely let him notice me. I'm not even armed, and he's already holding his sword like he's ready to attack me. Haven't done anything other than follow him. Marcus Callenberry sneered. Your acting's pretty fine, just what you'd expect from a first-rate assassin. Kim Gongja stammered. Sorry, wait, why would he think that Kim Gongja panicked? Congratulations, Kim Gongja. You don't even need to provoke him by mentioning his grandchildren for him to kill you. I'm not following you. Key, Gongja tried to explain. Marcus Callenberry's expression darkened. You disgust me. You come all the way here and are still acting. You cannot trick these eyes. Sir, please. I'm just curious. Kim Gongja begged. Marcus Callenberry's tone turned sharp. How can you say that I'm a first-rate assassin? I think I look pretty normal and common. Without warning, he drew his sword. Shut your mouth. I have quite a few skills. Among them is one that tells me how many humans you've murdered. Kim Gongja's heart sank. Right. I had a reason, but murder's still murder. I knew he would become a monster in the future, but to the people now, I have no excuse. He probably sees one above my head right now. Kim Gongja gulped. I understand, Sword King, but please just hear me out on this one. I really had a good reason to have this number. I swear on my life. Marcus Callenberry's face twisted in disgust. Disgusting for a demon like you, who has killed so many, to even try to put a value on your life. I have not lived a clean life myself, but I have not murdered so ruthlessly like you have. Kim Gongja was confused. Huh? Ruthlessly, sir? I've only ever killed one person, he protested. Marcus Callenberry pointed his sword directly at Kim Gongja. Do you feel no shame with those blatant lies? Kim Gongja froze as Marcus Callenberry continued. The count of how many people you've killed. 4,091 is clearly stated as 4,091 right above your head. Kim Gongja's blood ran cold. Ah, one for killing you, Suha. And 4,090 for the times I've killed myself. No way. Marcus Callenberry's eyes narrowed. Did the Black Dragon's witch send you? Kim Gongja thought. To that man, I'm a legendary assassin who's killed 4,091 people. This ain't just about copying skills anymore. Desperately, Kim Gongja turned to run. Marcus Callenberry called after him. No response? Fine. He paused. It wasn't important anyway. Kim Gongja thought. Every time he sees me, he will try to kill me. I will use everything I have to end your life, demon. As Marcus Callenberry attempted to slash at Kim Gongja's neck, he managed to dodge and step back. Marcus Callenberry's voice rang out. To have dodged my blade? You really are a first-rate assassin. Kim Gongja muttered to himself, Is this old man deaf? Kim Gongja suddenly tripped on a stone. Ork! He tumbled to the ground, shouting, Ork! Ak! Ork! Trembling on the floor, he thought to himself, No! I was lucky the first time, but I can't dodge this. Sword St. Marcus Callenberry said coldly, Quiet, should we capture and interrogate him? This devil? Kim Gongja was confused and looked up at Marcus Callenberry. Marcus Callenberry continued, Didn't I say I'd take care of this myself? Your interference is not necessary here. The conversation sounds too real to be a mental disorder. Is talking to himself a skill? Kim Gongja pondered. Perhaps. Telepathy. I've heard something like that exists in this world. Then, is he sharing my information with others? 4,091? That there's a murderer who killed 4,091 people? If that's the case, I'll be marked as a target by the Hunters Association. Hunted by large guilds and top rankers, until I'm publicly executed in Babylon Plaza. I can't let that happen. I've got to die now before 24 hours pass, and I can't reverse it. Kim Gongja stood up and said, Old man! Marcus Callenberry's eyes narrowed. That's enough. My mind's made up, even though you may be the teacher. Kim Gongja cut him off. Are your grandchildren doing all right? Marcus Callenberry was shocked and turned to him. Kim Gongja continued, I heard you're from a wealthy family in Europe. They tend to attract some shady characters. The outside world seems dangerous right now. If they carry your bloodline, then I'm sure they'll be lovely people. Before Kim Gongja could react, Marcus Callenbury slashed at him. As he fell to the ground, Kim Gongja thought, the moon, was it always upside down like that? Ah. As he saw his own headless body, he thought, it's beautiful. I couldn't even see the sword saint's attack. What can I do to reach those heights? I want to be like him. I'm jealous. I want that attack. A system notification appeared. You have died. Because of your death, the skill requirements have been met. Kim Gongja thought to himself. Finally, a second notification followed. Skill card is being created. Kim Gongja muttered, I'll have the skills of the rank I hunters from 2 eras. Another notification appeared. Select a skill card. Kim Gongja smirked. All right, where are you, Gold? Just like with the Flame Emperor I'll have. Suddenly he frowned. Wait, why are there only silver and bronze cards? He stared at the cards in disbelief. Why, is there no gold card? Am I supposed to believe what's happening? The legend before the Flame Emperor, Marcus Callenbury, reached the top without an S-rank ability, relying on his own strength. There's no way. Yeah, there must be an OP skill in one of the silver cards. There has to be. He examined the cards, 3 bronze ones and 4 silver ones. I'll ignore the bronze ones. The chance is 1 out of 4. The silver cards probably contain a mediocre skill, like the kill count. I don't want that. I need an OP skill now. Please come out. Kim Gongja grabbed a silver skill card. The Sword Saint's OP skill. A system notification appeared. Selection complete. Skill will be copied. Another notification followed. Return into 24 hours prior. Kim Gongja suddenly woke up with a gasp. Hark! He looked at his hand and muttered, Open Hunter ability window. Beside him, someone slept peacefully, unaware of his movement. Kim Gongja whispered, Is it here, the OP skill? He opened his skill window. 1. Return as Clockwork Watch. X. Passive. 2. Sword Constellation Atlas. Passive. 3. None. Kim Gongja sighed. At least it's an A+ rank and it's not the kill count skill, but another passive. I'd rather have a rare martial arts or aura awakening active skill. Well, it's still an A+ tier. I must be getting greedy, he muttered. Skill card open. The system notification read, Sword Constellation, a plus. Kim Gongja frowned. That name don't really tell me what it does. A voice suddenly broke his thoughts. Who's being so loud? Kim Gongja looked around, shocked, and saw an older man staring at him. Old man, I told you, the man said. If you want to train at night, go quietly. Let's keep our manners, please. Kim Gongja blinked, confused. Huh? The man continued, If you move, I just end up following you. There's no reason to wake me up, you know. Kim Gongja finally spoke. Oi, who are you? The man turned to him, surprised. You can see me? Kim Gongja nodded. Yeah. Sword Emperor said. Can you hear me? Kim Gongja blinked in confusion and replied, since we're talking right now, wouldn't that be the case? The Sword Emperor sat up, looking around. Huh? This is weird. There's no way. Where am I? This place is as small as a doghouse. Where's old man Marcus? Kim Gongja, trying to make sense of things, responded, Marcus Callenbury? You mean the Sword Saint? The Sword Emperor glanced out the window. Yeah, it's a bit daft to call a beginner a Sword Saint, but, well, that's what people call him. Where is he? He should be around here somewhere. Kim Gongja was taken aback. The Sword Saint's a beginner. I can't see anything from this tiny space, the Sword Emperor exclaimed. Kim Gongja muttered to himself. What the? A system notification suddenly appeared. Sword Master. Rank. A plus effect from another world cleared his world's tower up to the 99th floor but got done in just before the 100th. His resentment was that strong that he became a wandering spirit. He can't physically interact with this world, but he can mentally interact with the ability holder. Get advice from his extensive knowledge and experience. But only the ability user can interact with the spirit. Skill copied from Marcus Callenbury. Kim Gongja's eyes widened. Another world? So he's a ghost? He cautiously asked. Oi, were you the spirit for the sword saint? The sword emperor hummed in acknowledgement. That's right. Kim Gongja hesitated. Sorry, but I think I copied you. The sword emperor froze. Lightning ran down his spine as his jaw dropped. What? He shouted. Return me to that old man this instant. You said you copied me with your skill, so you should be able to cancel it. Don't you know what a refund is? Refund? Kim Gongja, sweating from the shock, responded, Come off it. I really can't do anything about this. The sword emperor's voice cracked as he cried out, Old man Marcus, you are a failure of a pupil. Your teacher was nicked by your enemy. Kim Gongja, feeling the tension rise, shouted, Can you not cry upside down? Me heart might drop. The sword emperor grumbled, This is because Marcus didn't respect his precious teacher. This is why I told him to treat me better. Kim Gongja sighed, exasperated. Oi, can we please live quietly here? What do you mean, live quietly? The sword emperor scoffed. I'm already dead, Kim Gongja retorted. Then please die quietly, the sword emperor gasped dramatically. I've never seen such an insolent bastard. He's telling a ghost who misses living to go die again. Look at him. Kim Gongja shook his head, thinking to himself, why is he so talkative? He recalled Sword St. Marcus Calambri's earlier command. Quiet, shut your mouth. Your interference is not needed here. Kim Gongja realized. So this is why Marcus keeps talking to himself. He groaned. I've got to hide from the sword saint for the rest of me life, and now I've got this stupid skill. The sword emperor looked at him curiously. Hide from the old man? What do you mean? There's no other hunter as kind as that guy, as long as you don't mention his grandchildren. Kim Gongja cut him off. I already know that very well. He's got a skill that lets him see people's kill count. The sword emperor frowned. Detective's insight. What about it? It's a useless skill that just lets you get an idea of whether your opponent's a killer or not. Kim Gongja pointed at his head. 4091. The kill count above my head. It's 4091. The sword emperor stared at him in disbelief. What? Are you insane? You're totally a beginner. The beginner of beginners. Doesn't even look like you've got any aura. How would you even kill 4091 people? Kim Gongja sighed. Because I didn't actually kill 4091 people. The only one I killed was someone who'd become a villain in the future. The 4090 times is the number of times I've killed myself. I did it to kill that guy from 11 years in the future. I've got an ability that lets me copy a skill from someone who kills me. And that guy had a skill that lets him return to 24 hours before his death. So even if I die, I go back one day. I've pretty much become immortal. I wanted revenge, but he was our world's rank 1, and because of his rare skill, I couldn't even kill him, even though I was strong. So I came back to the point before he awakened. The sword emperor went silent, processing the information. After a long pause, he spoke again. So you turned back time, just to get revenge on that one guy, killing yourself for 11 years' worth of days? He looked at Kim Gongja thoughtfully. What's your name? Kim Gongja, he replied. The sword emperor raised an eyebrow. Gongja, why that old man? Why did you come to copy his skill right after getting revenge on the flame emperor guy? Kim Gongja explained. He's the #1 hunter in this era. I need to get the strongest skills. That's how you get stronger. The sword emperor's eyes glinted. The reason you're answering my questions honestly is because the skill card says only you can notice me. Since information can't leak, you don't have anything to worry about, right? Kim Gongja nodded. Well, of course. The sword emperor stood up and gave Kim Gongja a once-over. Stand up. Kim Gongja stood in confusion, and the sword emperor observed him intently. You've got some insane resolve. Your body doesn't look too terrible, and you've got good ambitions. With this kind of talent. Oi, Kim Gongja, show me how you hunt monsters. A few moments later, outside the forest, red slimes scuttled around. Kim Gongja looked at them and said, So I should just kill a few of them. The sword emperor nodded. Yup. Kim Gongja pulled out his knife. Then, He attacked one of the slimes. Suddenly, the slime became aggressive and swallowed him whole. Inside the slime, Kim Gongja remained silent for a moment. Then he slashed, and the slime burst open. The Sword Emperor chuckled. I thought so. My intuition was correct. Kim Gongja wiped the slime off his body, confused. Intuition? The Sword Emperor's voice grew more serious. In my previous life, I was called the Sword Emperor. My homeland ain't here, but in another world. A tower sprouted up, just like this world's, and I climbed it faster than anyone else. Kim Gongja muttered to himself. The Flame Emperor became a legend by clearing the 40th floor. A system notification appeared. Effect. From another world. Cleared his world's tower up to the 99th floor, but was defeated just before the 100th. His resentment was that strong that he became a wandering spirit. He can't physically interact with this world, but he can mentally interact with the ability holder. Get advice from his extensive knowledge and experience. Kim Gongja thought to himself, 99th floor, that's pretty amazing. The Sword Emperor continued. When you're as strong as I am, you'll know how to recognize talent in a hunter. That's why I asked you to show me how you hunt. Kim Gongja smiled quietly. Then your efforts were wasted. I've got no talent for fighting at all. The Sword Emperor snorted. What kind of nonsense is that? You've got talent, and an incredibly huge one at that. Kim Gongja was taken aback. Ha! You're messing with me, right? The Sword Emperor shook his head. Seriously, of course you don't have talent in fighting. Your movements are clumsy, your body's average, and you don't even seem like you're able to awaken aura. But the unique talent you possess is that you have no fear of death. Normally, when people fight, they naturally try to protect themselves. But surprisingly, you don't care at all. Dying 4,000 times probably helped you get over that fear. Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. That's a talent. The Sword Emperor nodded firmly. Of course, talents ain't something you're just born with. Anyone can awaken a talent as they live their lives. And of all talents, the hardest to learn is overcoming the fear of death. It's an incredible achievement. Kim Gongja thought to himself, no one's ever told me anything like this before, not even myself. I was just angry that the Flame Emperor treated me like a bug. That anger led me to kill myself 4,000 times without a second thought, to think death would be my talent. The Sword Emperor suddenly asked, let me ask you something. You said you died to Old Man Marcus. Kim Gongja silently looked away. The Sword Emperor continued, I thought it was beautiful. Kim Gongja frowned but didn't respond. The Sword Emperor grinned. Cute, this is entertaining. Very entertaining. I like it. Your skill wasn't steal, but copy, right? Then Old Man Marcus probably has another me as his ability. You, or that old man, I wonder who'll become the better hunter. I'll help you so you won't lose to him. No, I'll help you become much stronger than him. Let's take over the tower. Later, the Sword Emperor shouted, Oi! Kim Gongja! What are you still doing asleep? Kim Gongja groggily replied, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, the Sword Emperor roared. You've got some nerve. Old Man Marcus might be clearing the 10th floor right now, and you want 5 more minutes. Kim Gongja covered his ears, groaning. Huh? Fine then. I'll start singing you a song I used to enjoy in my homeland. For your information, I mastered sound arts in my life. The Sword Emperor continued louder. When I sing one verse, I can burst the eardrums of like 30 people at once. Ha 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 ha. What time do you think it is to be sleeping so peacefully? Kim Gongja suddenly shot up and shouted, What time is it? The Sword Emperor smiled. It's 4 in the morning, you crazy bastard. 4:01. The Sword Emperor added, a bit sheepishly. Kim Gongja rubbed his temples. Ahem. Now that it's 4, the bugs should have started to crawl about. Since you're weaker than a bug, you need to get up earlier. Kim Gongja muttered, You were probably just bored since you can't sleep. Wow, I was wondering why the Sword Saint got up at 4 every morning to train. It wasn't because he was diligent, but because you were so loud. The Sword Emperor laughed. You're right. I was bored alone, so I woke you up. Happy? Either way, you get to wake up and train, so I think you should be thanking me. Now bow down and praise me. Kim Gongja groaned. I want to kill you. The Sword Emperor smirked. I'm already dead, so you can't kill me. If you're jealous, why don't you try dying? Oh wait, you can't even die if you tried. You little zombie. From now on, your name's Kim Zombie." Kim Gongja gritted his teeth. Damn it. A few moments later outside, Kim Gongja jogged along, the Sword Emperor calling after him. "Oi, Kim Zombie." "I'll say it again. But you really have nothing but your resolve. I usually like teaching from the ground up, but in this case, you're not even on the ground. I guess you could say you're way underground?" Kim Gongja thought to himself. "It's been 4 days since I copied the Swordmaster skill from the Sword Saint. Since then, I hunted Yusuha once more and avoided meeting the Sword Saint." The Sword Emperor said, "Just by looking at your ability, you've got the power of a bottomless void. Kay, so cool, I'm jealous." Kim Gongja, panting as he ran, replied, "I'm running, so please. Stop bothering me." He thought to himself, "I'm currently training according to the schedule the spirit set for me." The Sword Emperor grinned. "Well, all of that means you need special training, and for that, you need to pay the expensive registration fee. So let's go win the lottery, Zombie." A few moments later, Kim Gongja thought, "There's a guild called the Merchant Troop. Their official name's the Merchant Alliance. The guild leader's the third-ranked hunter, known as Countess. She's the only one with the ability to trade things from the outside world. Because of that overpowered skill, the Merchant Troop has a complete monopoly within the tower." A merchant at the guild greeted Kim Gongja. "Welcome to the Merchant Troop. What can we do for you?" Kim Gongja thought, "The Merchant Troop's the only place in Babylon where you can buy lottery tickets." Kim Gongja showed the merchant his ticket. "I came to claim my lottery prize." The merchant smiled. "You won the Merchant Troop's happiness lottery." "Congratulations," Kim Gongja replied nonchalantly. "Yeah, well, thank you." The Sword Emperor, curious, asked, "Oi, I've been wondering every time I saw 'em, why do they always wear those cat ear hats?" Kim Gongja whispered to the Sword Emperor, "I heard the guild leader's a cat lady." The Sword Emperor raised an eyebrow. "Even if she likes cats so much, how could she put cat ears on normal people? I guarantee you she's a huge pervert." The merchant interrupted. "Excuse me for a moment, but did you check the dates? You can't cash in tickets after 2 years of purchasing them." Kim Gongja thought to himself, "It's a ticket I bought right after joining up with the spirit." He spoke out loud, "Yup, this ticket's from last week." He thought further, "I need to win the lottery at least once," and the spirit kept talking about needing money. The merchant nodded. "All right, I'll begin doing some background checks." He froze, suddenly looking shocked. A system notification appeared. "Happiness lottery, first place prize, 53,000 gold. Last prizes, 43,600, 41,000, 49,000 gold." The merchant trembled. "First place prize?" The people around them whispered excitedly. The Sword Emperor smirked. "Wow, earning money's so easy, huh?" The merchant continued, flustered. "I've confirmed the number. Please give me a moment. I'll bring my supervisor." Kim Gongja waved his hand. Yeah, take your time." The Sword Emperor leaned in. "Oi, Zombie, don't you think you might get jumped in a shady place?" Kim Gongja whispered back, "Before I came here, Yusuha used his power to win the lottery too. I learned something from that. Even if you try to hide it, you can't." Kim Gongja thought, "Actually, it's safer to have it publicly announced. If the winner gets murdered, it'd hurt the Merchant Troop's reputation the most." A moment later, the supervisor, Arthur Taylor, appeared. "Thank you for waiting, Mr. Kim Gongja. I am the supervisor, Arthur Taylor, also known as the Safekeeper." "Please call me by that name." Kim Gongja nodded. "I'm Kim Gongja. Your nickname suits the guild very well." He thought to himself, if he's got a nickname, he must be a hunter ranked at least 300. Arthur Taylor chuckled. "Ha, I get that a lot. Please, follow me to the upper floors." Kim Gongja thought, he's not someone an F rank like me can stand up to, but today's different. I'm a 50,000 gold customer now. The Sword Emperor smirked. "I think you get happy too easily, because you've never been treated this nicely before. You were so happy when I said you had a talent for dying. I almost felt sad watching you." Kim Gongja thought, please just shut up. The Sword Emperor continued, "You can't be that easy. Learn from me. You've got to think that the world's there to support your existence." Kim Gongja thought, the Flame Emperor and the Sword Emperor are all psychopaths, aren't they? That's one thing I won't learn from them. Arthur Taylor noticed Kim Gongja's distracted look. Kim Gongja Neem, are you not feeling well? Kim Gongja quickly replied, No, I was just lost in thought. Arthur Taylor, relieved, said, "Thank goodness, you didn't look so good back there. I thought I might have crossed a line." Kim Gongja thought, "Is that an angel?" The Sword Emperor chuckled. "Too easy, too easy." A few moments later, Arthur Taylor opened the door to the very important person lobby. As he did, golden light spilled from the room. Arthur Taylor smiled. "Here it is, the first place prize you'll be taking." Kim Gongja's eyes widened. 53,000 gold. Kim Gongja thought, "This is equivalent to 5.5 billion won in my homeland. Around $5 million. He swallowed hard. His mind drifted into the alcohol he could buy and use to drown his sorrows. With this kind of money, I could live like a king. Arthur Taylor gave him a polite smile. "You may take it all right now, or store it here in the merchant troop's safe." Kim Gongja thought, if being successful was my objective, I'd have already fulfilled my dream. But I've decided I want to beat the tower and stand at the top of the hunters. Then, the money'll just be a means to get to the end. I've already seen a golden light more attractive than gold coins. Kim Gongja said, "I'll keep it here with the merchant troop." Arthur Taylor, the supervisor, nodded approvingly. A wise decision. I always recommend this choice to the prize winners." Kim Gongja moved closer to the gold, and Arthur added, "I understand the temptation to take it, but there are always bad people out there." Kim Gongja interjected, "I'd like to buy an honorary guild membership. It's 10,000 gold for a second-tier honorary membership, right? I'll pay right here." Arthur raised an eyebrow. "Are you not affiliated with any other guild?" Kim Gongja nodded. "Yeah," the Sword Emperor chimed in. "You're smarter than I thought." "That's right. A guild ain't just a friendly group of hunters. The main reason a hunter joins a guild is for the protection of its name. You've figured it out." Kim Gongja smirked and thought to himself, "There may be vigilantes and the Hunters Association, but the city's too lawless to rely on them. You can see that from how the Flame Emperor and the Sword Saint were able to just kill me. The Flame Emperor never belonged to a guild and lived in his own pride. He won the lottery twice, but he probably never paid any protection money. Rejecting every guild meant he made enemies with the large guilds. That's why he was poisoned. There's no reason to make enemies with big guilds. I won't follow that guy's footsteps." Kim Gongja said, "There's one more thing." Arthur Taylor gestured for him to continue. "Yeah, please speak." Kim Gongja hesitated for a moment before saying, "I live in a cheap studio right now. I'll pay the rent, but could you recommend me a different place to stay? And if the newspaper company asks about the identity of the first-place lottery winner, make sure to tell them that I'm an honorary member of the merchant troop." Arthur stared at Kim Gongja for a moment, then sighed in frustration. "You're quite thorough, sir." The Sword Emperor chuckled. Hey, look at his face. He was going to treat you like a fool, but that backfired." Kim Gongja shrugged. "Of course you've always got to be careful, considering the state of the world." He thought to himself, "Who was the guy who said I was easy, huh?" The Sword Emperor said, "Did I say that?" "I don't remember at all." Arthur nodded, his expression neutral. "That's right, sir." Kim Gongja thought, "That ghost." The Sword Emperor grinned. "Well, you're doing pretty well on your own. Looks like I don't have to treat you like an infant, changing your nappies and everything." Kim Gongja muttered to himself. "If only you couldn't talk, you'd be so much more bearable." The Sword Emperor laughed. "Oi, you look pretty happy to me," Kim Gongja replied with a grin. "Of course, this is only the start," he thought. "With 4,000 deaths and 4,000 returns, I've earned this special privilege. I didn't do it just because I was fixated on revenge. Now it's time to enjoy it." The Sword Emperor's voice cut through Kim Gongja's thoughts. "Oi, zombie, remember when you said the fees are the most important factor when it comes to tuition? You just got hold of the tuition fees. Now, what do you think is the next thing we need? Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. A skilled teacher, the Sword Emperor snorted. Ahem, you've already got that right in front of you. Kim Gongja thought. He's got no shame. The Sword Emperor continued. You need a textbook. Something like an elixir that can boost your physical abilities, or a scroll with martial arts principles. But considering where you're at now, you won't even be able to understand the secret martial art manuals anyway. So, the only answer is to get the elixirs, and we need a damn good one. Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. How good? The Sword Emperor paused for a moment, thinking. Was it called Alchemy Castle, or something? That guild with the doctors and pharmacists. Maybe an elixir created by the best master from that guild. There's a store I know of too. Kim Gongja hesitated. Aren't those things super expensive? The Sword Emperor grinned. Of course, they're super expensive. You want to know how much they cost? He whispered the price to Kim Gongja, who froze as if struck by lightning. Kim Gongja exclaimed, Wait, hold on. Do you mean to say that even if I use all of my leftover assets, I'll only get 4 elixirs? The Sword Emperor smirked. You'll probably get 5 bottles if you get a bulk discount. What can you do about it? It's all because you lack talent. Stop complaining and follow me. Kim Gongja grimaced. Go slower. But as the Sword Emperor slowed his pace, Kim Gongja continued to push ahead and suddenly stopped in his tracks. Frustrated, Kim Gongja snapped. Why are you slowing down all of a sudden? The Sword Emperor's expression shifted. Gongja, hi. I forgot to tell you about this. Kim Gongja furrowed his brows. What? Suddenly, Kim Gongja felt something. An oppressive aura as Sword St. Marcus Calenbury walked down the street. The Sword Emperor whispered, This is old man Marcus's favourite store. Kim Gongja thought to himself, Why are you only telling me this now? Tell me these things earlier. Sword St. Marcus stopped and glanced around. Kim Gongja quickly hid behind a dumpster. What do I do? It'll get troublesome if he notices me. Marcus turned, and Kim Gongja stayed absolutely still, holding his breath. A few moments later, Kim Gongja whispered in frustration, Out of all the places. Why did I have to hide in a rubbish bin? The Sword Emperor hissed. This is bad. If the old man is here. Suddenly the Sword Emperor's expression changed. He must be buying the elixirs today as well. The Sword Emperor broke into a run. Gongja, we're in trouble. Quick, come. Kim Gongja ran and muttered, Ugh. The Sword Emperor shouted, Ah! They watched as Sword St. Marcus Calenbury entered the store, and the Sword Emperor groaned, No! We were one step behind. What do we do? That store is the best one out there. Kim Gongja thought to himself, It's too dangerous to go into the same store as Sword St. Marcus. But then he took out his phone and said, Not in the top 20. Looks like she's not in the top 100 either, even if I extend the range to the top 300. Can't find it. The Sword Emperor, confused, asked, Can't find what? Your luck? Kim Gongja smirked. Nope. You could say it's the opposite. We might not be spending as much as we expected. The Sword Emperor raised an eyebrow. What? Kim Gongja nodded. I'm saying we might be able to get top-grade elixirs with only a small amount of money. A few moments later, Kim Gongja added, I happen to know a super-good pharmacist. The Sword Emperor eyed him well. Feels like the place you're heading to is getting scarier and scarier. As people glanced at Kim Gongja seriously, he stepped on a puddle of water with a loud splat. The Sword Emperor asked, Are you sure a talented pharmacist lives here? Kim Gongja grinned. Not just talented, but a genius, the best one I've ever known. The Sword Emperor looked skeptical. Stop joking around. Why would that kind of genius live in a place like this? Kim Gongja shrugged. You can choose not to believe it if you don't want to. An old Filipino man clicked his tongue in disapproval. Kim Gongja thought to himself, I guess they were considering whether to rob me. Since I was muttering to myself, they probably gave up thinking I was insane. I wonder what they'll think when they find out how much money I've got in my pockets. The Sword Emperor said, Oi, zombie, you know where you're going, right? Suddenly, a cute voice called out, "But please don't touch my experiment equipment, anything but those." A man's voice replied, "How many times have we gone through this and you're still saying that?" Kim Gongja nodded. "Yup, this is the place." The man yelled, "It's been half a year since half the deadline to pay the price for that." The cute lady responded, "If you take all the equipment as well, I really can't make a living." The man snapped, "I don't care. Don't even need to take a look anymore. Take everything," the cute lady protested. "A week. Just give me a week. No, 5 days," the man growled. "Last time you said that 1 week turned into a month, and that month became half a year." A bald black man interjected, "There's still an elixir I haven't completed." The cute lady grabbed onto a cart, and as she tried to slide it away, the bald man dragged it off with alarming force. She slipped and cried out in pain. "Ah!" The bald man grumbled, "This is sincere advice from me to you. Don't ever get into the business of making medicines again." The cute lady was left looking sadly at her belongings being dragged away. A person in the crowd muttered, "I knew that place was going to close soon." A boy added, "Everything was too expensive. What kind of health potion costs 40 gold for a single bottle anyway?" Another man remarked, "She took the business world too lightly at a young age." The cute lady shouted, What do you mean by expensive? The price I get is almost the same as the cost price." She turned to the bystanders. "You can't get this kind of quality for a health potion anywhere else in Babylon except from my store. You should be thanking me for doing business in such a terrible town like this." A lady sighed. She still hasn't come to her senses yet. The crowd began to disperse. "Let's go. My God, what makes her so special?" The cute lady pleaded. Well, wait, everybody. Since you've all gathered, you might as well buy at least a bottle of my special health potion." A guy quickly rejected her. "I'm not buying." The Sword Emperor turned to Kim Gongja and said, "Oi, the best pharmacist of all time that you were talking about can't possibly be that loser, right?" Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. "What are you going to do if she's the one?" The Sword Emperor's eyes widened. What do you see in that loser?" The cute lady collapsed to the ground, sobbing. "Sob? You." Kim Gongja approached her and asked, "Boss, are you still in business?" She looked up at him, tears in her eyes. Kim Gongja thought to himself, of course, this person is not just a crazy pharmacist or a loser. He said aloud, "If you're still in business, I'd like to make an order, a rather expensive one at that." She looked up, recognizing him. "Aha, yeah, of course, I can make you anything." She stood up immediately, wiping her tears. Before that, when you said expensive, how expensive?" Kim Gongja thought for a moment. I don't know, maybe around 20,000 gold for now." The master alchemist gasped. 2? Her jaw dropped and her eyes widened. Kim Gongja muttered to himself, "A person who's going to be an unapproachable big shot in the future." The master alchemist stammered, 20,000? How could you?" Kim Gongja thought to himself, "If I can acquaint myself with her before she even steps foot in the rankings, she's going to be the goose that lays 100% pure gold eggs." Kim Gongja asked aloud. "What are you doing?" Master Alchemist replied. "You should take your orders, boss." Kim Gongja mused to himself, "I'll become a regular through and through." A few moments later, Master Alchemist said, "Although it's shabby, please come inside." She opened the door to her store. "It's really quite shabby, though." The Sword Emperor looked around in surprise. "Wow!" Both Kim Gongja and the Sword Emperor were shocked by the state of the store. The Sword Emperor remarked, "It's so reassuringly clean." Master Alchemist fixed some of her things with an air of care. The Sword Emperor glanced at Kim Gongja. "Oi, do you really want to take an elixir made by this lady?" Kim Gongja hesitated. Master Alchemist blinked and asked, "Are you really commissioning me for 20,000 gold?" Kim Gongja replied confidently, "If you can't trust me, should I pay you first?" Master Alchemist's eyes widened. "What? You don't need to go that far. No, if it's possible, I'd like to be paid first." Kim Gongja thought to himself, her financial situation's so bad that she isn't even able to show basic courtesy. Kim Gongja nodded and said, "Take as much money as you need from my account. I'll inform the party beforehand." Master Alchemist asked cautiously, "As much as I need?" Kim Gongja clarified, "Of course, I'd like you to keep the budget within 20,000 gold if possible. My money ain't unlimited after all." Master Alchemist sighed in relief. "Then, what kind of elixir do you need?" If you're going to request drugs, I'll have to decline. That's the only thing I won't make." Kim Gongja thought to himself. The guts she has to decline tens of thousands of gold after her store just shut down. Though she's naive, she's got strong convictions that'll lead her to become the alchemy Castellan. Kim Gongja reassured her. "Don't worry, it definitely ain't any kind of drug." Master Alchemist sighed. That's a relief. So what exactly are you requesting to be made?" The Sword Emperor interjected. "Well, fine. Although no matter how I look at it, she doesn't seem to have any skills. I'll tell you the formula." Kim Gongja nodded. "I'll only say it once." The Sword Emperor began. "Listen carefully. The liver of a rabbit pig, eyes of the balloon cat, skin of the giant desert earthworm." Master Alchemist added, "And the tail of a black salamander." Kim Gongja, a total of 23 ingredients, am I correct? The Sword Emperor confirmed. "Yeah, that's it for the ingredients. The process of making it purely depends on the skills of the..." Kim Gongja completed the thought. "The alchemist, yeah." Master Alchemist nodded. "These combine to form a mixture that greatly increases reflexes." The Sword Emperor was shocked. Master Alchemist continued. "It's an extremely high-quality formula. It's made in a way where you don't refine each of the ingredients, but boil them all together at once, right?" The Sword Emperor answered hesitantly, "That's right, but..." Kim Gongja confirmed, "That's correct." Master Alchemist's eyes sparkled. "Of course. Usually the skin of the giant desert earthworm contains a very small amount of poison. One of the ways to neutralize this poison is with the liver of the rabbit pig, but its effects vary depending on how it's taken. If it's refined." Kim Gongja nodded to himself. "Yeah, there are always these so-called experts." Master Alchemist paused before continuing. "But in that case, a different side effect can occur. Accelerating your base metabolism would fundamentally..." Kim Gongja interjected. "How many days will it take for it to be made?" Master Alchemist thought for a moment. 4 days. If I have enough money, I can prepare it within 4 days. Normally I could do it quicker. However, I need to buy new equipment, so..." Just then, a man's voice echoed outside the door of Master Alchemist's shop. "Those who have a prescription for the Alchemy Lord, please come inside." Another man scoffed. "Who are you to stand in front of me? I've been waiting for a whole year." A third man retorted. "A year? I've been waiting a year and a half." Kim Gongja's eyes sparkled. 4 days is a steal." Master Alchemist looked at him, confused. The Sword Emperor crossed his arms. "Oi, I still don't approve of her. You have no idea how many people have barks bigger than their bite. It's always those kinds of people who grow up to be swindlers." "Hey, we just threw away precious money," Kim Gongja smirked. "Where did you learn that formula?" The Sword Emperor proudly declared. "I created it myself. I consumed all sorts of poisons in order to create the best elixir." Kim Gongja nodded thoughtfully. She praised the formula, calling it high quality. She was good enough to figure out the true potential of the formula immediately. Place some trust in her. Although she might look like that, in 10 years she's going to be the most powerful person in the alchemy castle. The Sword Emperor looked away silently and muttered, "Anyway, wait and see, zombie. She'll definitely take your money and make a run for it." 4 days later, at the hotel provided by the party, Master Alchemist entered, carrying 3 boxes. "Sorry, I wanted to give it to you sooner, but it took longer than expected as I was combining different ingredients together." Kim Gongja smiled. "It's okay. You told me it'd take 4 days, right?" Master Alchemist handed over the boxes. "It's 3 boxes in total, with 30 bottles in each box." Kim Gongja nodded. "Then that should last for at least 30 days. 15 times more efficient than the store the spirit knew. This is how you spend money. Master Alchemist hesitated, then asked, "Excuse me." The Sword Emperor, who had been watching the exchange, glared at Kim Gongja. "Oi, you're shit-talking me in your head, right?" Kim Gongja ignored the Sword Emperor, looking at Master Alchemist. "Yeah?" Master Alchemist continued nervously. It's strange asking you this now, but why did you leave such a costly request to a nameless pharmacist like me? Of course, I'm confident in my skills, but looking at the formula you requested this time, I think only about 2 people in Babylon would be able to understand it properly and make it. But people only think of me as a freak. Kim Gongja thought to himself, the reason is because the pharmacist in front of me is a genius of the century. But is it? He recalled the fire and Master Alchemist's words. The perimeter's secure. Now the problem's the survivor still inside. We need a rescue team. Kim Gongja thought back to the first person to arrive on the scene when the city caught on fire. The paladin had asked, "She said she had work tonight. Maybe she's on a date." "I see her with the Flame Emperor quite a bit," Master Alchemist had replied. Master Alchemist had added, "I don't like that man." Kim Gongja thought, the person who saw the real personality of the Flame Emperor. Master Alchemist had commented, "I have a bad feeling about him." Kim Gongja mused, she's skilled, kind, and has the ability to read people as well. Wouldn't it be a loss to not get close to someone like this? Kim Gongja spoke snapping back to the present, "Because you look kind." Master Alchemist looked confused. "Huh?" Kim Gongja smiled. "I helped you because you looked kind. Well, you would have succeeded without my help anyway. If someone's going to succeed, it should be kind hunters like us, so that we can help each other out in the future. It's enraging to see a lunatic psychopath be the only one succeeding. Let's cheer up, the both of us." Kim Gongja thought to himself, it was all true. To the point where I wasn't sure if I could speak more truthfully than this. Master Alchemist shook Kim Gongja's hand. "You're right. In order to change the world, you've got to succeed first. Feel free to call me when you have anything to request. I'll always put your requests as the first priority." Kim Gongja smiled. "If you do that, I'd be thankful." He waved goodbye as Master Alchemist left. The Sword Emperor scowled. "What? Kind hunters like us?" Kim Gongja chuckled. "I know I said some embarrassing things, so let's just start training." The next day, moving to the 3rd floor hunting grounds, Kim Gongja surveyed the area. "It's full of monsters. I'm going to have trouble dealing." "What do I do now?" The Sword Emperor shrugged. "Drink the elixir first." Kim Gongja took out a can and opened it. He took a sip. "It actually tastes quite normal. I can taste some lemon and honey." Suddenly he felt something spark in his chest. Kim Gongja gasped. "What is this?" Everything around him seemed to slow down. He began to sweat, his heart racing. "Ah!" the Sword Emperor smirked. "Oh, not bad! The skill of that pharmacist must have been real." Kim Gongja thought to himself, "What is he saying? Just say it once." My head is going to burst." The Sword Emperor grinned. "How does it feel?" "Feels like you could count your hairs one by one, right? And the feeling of sweat dripping down is terribly vivid as well. That's the effect of the elixir. It gives you more time to react by slowing down your perception of the present. Can't you feel it?" Kim Gongja groaned. "Woo! You talking about?" The Sword Emperor raised an eyebrow. "That thing moving around in your heart." Kim Gongja felt his heart pounding in his chest. The Sword Emperor explained, "That's aura. Anyone who's entered the tower as a hunter gets that formed inside their body. It's just that they live their daily lives without recognizing its presence. How proficiently you can control your aura will determine the results of a fight." Hoo-hoo. Kim Gongja focused his mind, trying to control the strange sensation coursing through him. The Sword Emperor spoke calmly. "Normally, in this state, you're supposed to feel the flow of your aura by doing something like meditation. But if we do that, it's going to take too long. If someone has no talent like you, their body's going to suffer." Suddenly an orc charged at Kim Gongja, ready to attack. The Sword Emperor shouted, "Run, Kim Zombie, if you don't want to end up hurt." "All right," the Sword Emperor continued. "If you don't want to get hurt, release the aura and use it. You must train to fight for real." Kim Gongja said Damned ghost, Sword Emperor said. I don't listen to someone who can't even use aura. Is this too much? End yourself if you don't like this. Ah, then the kill count will go up again. The old man is going to love you for that, right? It's slow. This must be the effect of the elixir. But I can see the attacks. But why won't my body react to them? Arg, you can evade this. Don't give up. Low-level mobs like orcs have simple attack patterns. Once you identify them, the rest is easy. Charge up the aura in your legs. It's easier said than done. I can dodge if I can move just a single step. Legs. Move. I did it. It's harder than you thought, right? It's because you don't have a path for the aura to move around yet. Your body is like a small footpath in a deep forest. You need to open up the path like a highway to be able to start using aura. You are only tasting the aura because of the elixir. Without it, you don't stand a chance. Tisk. This lady lacks basic hygiene, but her skills are amazing. The orc growled in frustration and swung its club again, narrowly missing Kim Gong. Ja looked back and asked, And what happens when my footpath becomes a highway? I hate to admit it, but Bei Hu Ryung is right. Flow through me. Aura, he thought, mentally picturing the flow of energy. A path full of weeds, with no living creatures around. He dodged another swing. Damn it, Kim Gongja muttered to himself. That describes me perfectly right now, but what if I can break through? And what happens then? He asked, his voice strained. The Sword Emperor laughed darkly. Hey, do you remember getting your head chopped off so helplessly by old man Marcus? I do, Kim Gongja replied. That was just a horizontal slash, the Sword Emperor remarked. Kim Gongja thought, such a beautiful attack. Just a horizontal slash. The Sword Emperor continued, that old man still has a long way to go, but you, zombie, are nothing compared to him. Kim Gongja swallowed nervously, barely avoiding another blow from the orc. He took a deep breath and gathered his strength, facing the creature head-on. The Sword Emperor smirked. Oh ho, what's this? Kim Gongja concentrated, gathering power in his legs, preparing to strike. The Sword Emperor raised an eyebrow. Creative. Kim Gongja drew his knife, leaping toward the orc. The orc stared at him in confusion as Kim Gongja drove the blade into its chest. The Sword Emperor's voice rang out. Don't let your guard down until the very end. The orc has thick skin. Focus your aura at the tip of the blade. Actually, that might be too difficult for you. Just dump all your aura into it. Kim Gongja focused all his strength into the strike. Die, he grunted, pouring every bit of power he could muster into the blow. With a final shout for more strength, the blade sank deeper into the orc's chest. Kim Gongja pierced it again, and the orc crumpled to the ground. The Sword Emperor sounded impressed but warned, You all right? It hurts, doesn't it? Yup. Probably hurts like a bitch. That's what happens when you use aura without having a proper path for it. Your body's on the verge of death. You did all that just to kill a single orc. Kim Gongja, exhausted, spat out, You bastard. The Sword Emperor chuckled. But I liked the part where you bent the aura like a spring. I applaud you for that. Hunters always need to know how to fight with their head. Kim Gongja gritted his teeth. I don't want to hear arg. The Sword Emperor's voice turned cold. Does it hurt so much you feel like dying? Kim Gongja snapped. Can't you see? Then just die, the Sword Emperor said casually. Things'll get better after that. Kim Gongja blinked in confusion. If it weren't for your regression skill, I wouldn't have recommended this kind of training, the Sword Emperor explained. Even old man Marcus would meditate after taking an elixir. He wouldn't push his body to the limits like you. Kim Gongja thought, What's this ghost talking about? But if you die, the Sword Emperor continued, you can just go back. That's awesome. Your body won't even have a scratch after the toughest training. Wow, do I envy you. Oi, zombie, in this case, if you kill yourself, your kill count'd go up. Let's use the method that doesn't make your count go up. Another orc appeared, seeing its fallen comrade. The Sword Emperor continued, Oi, you got a taste of using the aura, right? At this rate, dying 100 times should be enough. 1,000-mile journey starts with a single step, and 100 deaths start with a single death. As the other orc swung its club at Kim Gongja, the moment of reckoning was close. The Sword Emperor grinned. Let's start with death number 1. A system notification chimed. You have died. Ow, damn it, my head, Kim Gongja muttered, disoriented. The Sword Emperor raised an eyebrow. Wow, what's all this now? Kim Gongja glanced around, confused. You got here too? I wonder if you regress with me as well. Kim Gongja surveyed his surroundings, then said, This is where I stay for a bit when I die. I'm calling it a netherworld for now. Fascinating, the Sword Emperor remarked, intrigued. Kim Gongja reflected, I would always hear the phrase, you will regress to 24 hours ago. But during other times, a system notification appeared, because of your death the skill requirements have been met. Kim Gongja blinked, his eyes widened. I was able to copy skills? Another system notification flashed. Randomly copy skills of monster orc. Kim Gongja and the Sword Emperor stared at the system in disbelief. Kim Gongja pointed at the notification. Monsters have skills too? The Sword Emperor pointed back at him. What? This is such an OP skill. Both of them stood there, jaws dropped in astonishment. The system chimed again. Please choose a skill card. The Sword Emperor exclaimed. I want this skill too. Oi! The Sword Emperor demanded. Who's in charge of this tower? The system responded. Please choose a skill card. The Sword Emperor's frustration boiled over. Why would you give such a good skill to a newbie instead of an amazing hunter like me? This is the collapse of hunter culture. Kim Gongja sighed. A monster's skill. I'll just pick one to start. The Sword Emperor raised an eyebrow. Huh? What? You're picking that one? Yeah? It doesn't matter what I pick. Kim Gongja replied nonchalantly. The Sword Emperor threw his hands up in exasperation. This is your chance to get ridiculously powerful. Shouldn't you pick something good? Kim Gongja scoffed. There's no way to know which card is better than the others, right? They all look the same, just like a game of luck. The Sword Emperor's frustration grew. How do you not know which skill is better? Kim Gongja rubbed his temples. Oh, this is so annoying. You really don't get it, do you? The backs of the cards are the same. You can only see the back. How am I supposed to know which one is better? The Sword Emperor circled around. Because I can see him? Kim Gongja stared at him, confused. Huh? I can see him. They're fronts, the Sword Emperor said casually. A system notification flashed. Please choose a skill card. Kim Gongja's eyes widened as he observed the movement of the cards. The positions. The cards are shifting around in a way that I can only see the back. They move as I move my head, Kim Gongja thought to himself. He then asked, So, can you see the details of the skills? Kim Gongja realized something. But Bai Hu Ri-young can move as he wishes. He must be able to see the fronts of the cards. The Sword Emperor proudly declared, Of course I can. Do you not trust my eyes? When I was young, I was known for my visual acuity. As I grew older, I even mastered clairvoyance. Kim Gongja shouted, Eureka! The Sword Emperor recoiled in shock. Ah, you crazy, why are you screaming? Kim Gongja ignored him. Enough, tell me what skills you see right now. The Sword Emperor grumbled but complied. Fine, I'm only going to read it once, so pay attention. The Sword Emperor began. First card. Oh, nature gives us shelter, but gives us hardship at the same time. In this tough world, the orcs overcame the will of nature by maximizing their fertility. Did a single orc get killed? Don't worry, there are more orcs where you can't see. Blessing of reproduction. Rank, F. However, you will suffer from rotting all year round. Second card. We end our sentence with chi every time, but we don't know why. But have a taste of our chiik yourself, and you'll never want to leave the fun of chiik again. Lum rank, chiik chick, F. However, chiik chick. Kim Gongja stared, stunned. His jaw dropped. The Sword Emperor smirked. See? If I hadn't stopped you, you would have picked the chiik chick. One. Oi, if you were born as a man, you should wield the power of orcs at least once. Kim Gongja's face twisted in disbelief. Are you for real? He thought to himself. They're both garbage, but if I were to choose, it'd be chiik? Chick. The Sword Emperor raised an eyebrow. Oi, your thoughts and words don't match. Kim Gongja retorted. Well, my thoughts are correct. Chiik chick is better than blessing of reproduction. The Sword Emperor grew impatient. Oi, 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 wait! Let's think about this a bit more. Kim Gongja responded dryly. I think you're thinking the same thing as... The Sword Emperor's face turned pale as the system chimed again. Selection complete. The selected skill will be copied. Ah, no, the Sword Emperor howled. Kim Gongja woke up, feeling refreshed. A system notification appeared. Your current hunter rank is F. There was no skill penalty. Kim Gongja sighed in satisfaction. Yes, this is so good. Thanks to this nice place, my mind and body are refreshed. The Sword Emperor, enraged, shouted. Damn it, I thought you would fall for it. Kim Gongja gave him a sidelong glance. Who in their right mind would choose? Blessing of reproduction, he grinned. Stop being upset and let's go hunt. Kim Gongja adjusted his jacket and muttered, Hunter status window open. A system notification appeared. Name, Kim Gongja. Rank, F. Skills, 4 of 4, 1. I want to be like you, S. Passive, 2. Regressors wind-up clock, X, 3. Blades constellation, A. Passive, 4. Chick, F. Active. Kim Gongja nodded to himself. Good. No problem. The Sword Emperor, deep in thought, said, Gongja, I've been thinking about this. Huh? Kim Gongja turned, curious. The Sword Emperor continued, You can train by meditation. Dying hurts you, right? Let's just sit down, cross our legs and train. I'll teach you all about aura in 6 months. Kim Gongja scowled. To the 3rd floor hunting ground. The system responded, Moving to the 3rd floor hunting ground. Do you not hear me? The Sword Emperor shouted as Kim Gongja moved ahead. A few moments later, Kim Gongja drank an elixir and sighed. Gulp, tastes great. Oi, Sword Emperor, do you know? Huh, what? The Sword Emperor responded, confused. Want to get into the lotus position? Kim Gongja teased. The Sword Emperor scowled. You call me zombie when you're at an advantage, and Gongja when you're at a disadvantage. You started calling me Gongja back there. I'm just trying to help you work on that habit of... Kim Gongja charged toward an orc. The orc blinked in confusion. Gurk? It swung its club, growling, Kara. Kim Gongja thought to himself, just like last time, I can see the movement. The orc raised its club, snarling, Grr. A system notification appeared, skill activated. Kim Gongja faced the orc and asked, Chick? The orc blinked. Chick? Chick. Kim Gongja repeated. The orc, now confused, mumbled, Chick. Kim Gongja suddenly charged forward and slashed at the orc's neck. Chi. The orc gasped in pain before collapsing to the ground. Kim Gongja wiped his blade and sighed. Phew! The Sword Emperor, furious, yelled, You cheating bastard! I knew you'd do this. Does it feel good to fool such a nice orc? Huh? Do you even care about their feelings? Dirty humans like you are the reason why these pure orcs suffer in this world. Kim Gongja smiled, a mischievous glint in his eyes. Chee, eek! The Sword Emperor's face twisted in frustration. Ark! So so annoying! Why did you give such an OP skill to such a slimy human? Oh, mighty tower! Kim Gongja waved him off. Stop sweating and let's go. Let's head to the 4th floor now, a week later. The great Goblin King stood at the 5th floor boss monster encounter. Goruk! The goblin growled. Kim Gongja faced him, closing his eyes. A system notification appeared, activating skill. Another notification, skill name, language of the king. Kim Gongja shouted, Goruk! And charged toward the great Goblin King. The system chimed again, Goblin High Society rank F. The great Goblin King, confused, muttered, Goruk! Kim Gongja smirked. How can somebody other than me be this perfect? A system notification appeared, language of the king activated. As Kim Gongja stabbed the great Goblin King in the neck, he said, You were the toughest enemy this past week. Goodbye, my acclaimed enemy. The Sword Emperor, furious, snapped. You gotta be shitting me, getting all emotional just because you killed a monster. Kim Gongja sighed. Ah, come on. I barely hunted him after 6 coins. Can't I get some time to be emotional? 1 coin equals 1 life, he added nonchalantly. The Sword Emperor growled, I was just stating the facts. Besides, it wasn't even an honorable fight, right? Kim Gongja defended himself. It was... Look, I fought with a legitimate skill earned with 5 lives worth of coins. A system notification chimed. Goblin High Society. Rank F. Effect. The great goblin had once pondered. Us goblins are too uncultured. All we say is Kerrick. We cannot shine and be honourable the way we are. At that moment he had an epiphany. That's right. From now on I will abandon Kerrick and speak with Goruk. Goruk! This is the perfect term to describe my royal self. However, this caused a backlash within the tribe. Skill copied from monster great goblin. Kim Gongja shook his head. Really spend too much time on unimportant details. The Sword Emperor smirked. That's why they're goblins. Humans ain't any different either. Huh? Kim Gongja asked, puzzled. Nothing, the Sword Emperor mumbled, brushing it off. Kim Gongja was about to ask more when a system notification appeared. Your existence becomes more apparent. Suddenly, golden light shone. A system notification appeared. Hunter Kim Gongja's level increases. Kim Gongja thought to himself, finally. Another notification appeared. Skill slots are expanded. Your hunter rank is now E-class. Kim Gongja grinned. Finally, the system chimed again. May luck stay on your side. The Sword Emperor squinted. Was that fireworks? No blood. Huh, it's confusing, Kim Gongja shrugged. It was just a level-up effect, right? Yeah, the Sword Emperor replied, but it doesn't just look cool, it's sort of a hint. Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. A hint? Your aura type is determined depending on what kind of effect you show when leveling up. For example, the Flame Emperor you killed, his aura type is definitely fire. Fire, Kim Gongja muttered. The Sword Emperor continued. The form of your aura is usually influenced by the hunter's trauma, though not always negative memories. Events, scenes, or things that have left a lasting impression can appear in the form of your aura. It's like something from the unconscious. Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. So what about the Sword Saint's aura? The Sword Emperor replied, Moonlight. When he was young, he got lost in the mountains. Not wanting to die, he climbed to the peak. He said that the moon, shining with the light of the sun, not its own but another's, was beautiful. Living with what's given can be beautiful too. I want to shine like the moonlight, he thought as a 12-year-old. That thought has guided him ever since. Kim Gongja was stunned. 12 years old? The Sword Saint's a bit abnormal too, huh? The Sword Emperor grunted. Anyway, we cleared the 5th floor. Let's continue to the 6th. Kim Gongja paused. About that. Can't we just skip to the 10th floor boss? The Sword Emperor turned to him in disbelief. What? You're just a kid. Are you starting to overestimate yourself? Kim Gongja grinned. Absolutely not. The Sword Emperor scowled. Do you know how many experienced hunters died on the 10th floor? Kim Gongja shrugged nonchalantly. If I can't clear the 10th floor in 2 coins, I'll start calling you master. The Sword Emperor's expression darkened. Huh? So you'll clear it dying only once. The guy who took 6 coins to defeat the goblin boss will spend only 2 coins on the 10th floor. You might not know this, but I never go easy on a bet. Kim Gongja raised his finger. But, on one condition, tell me the skills the boss has on the 10th floor. The Sword Emperor thought for a moment. Well, not bad, kid. Kim Gongja added, grinning. If I win, you have to call me Gongja and be as polite as possible. Oh, are you scared? Forget it then. The Sword Emperor spat on the ground. This monkey is challenging the Great Sword Emperor for having one special skill? Fine. Kim Zombie, you will fail on the 10th floor and serve me as your master until you die. But you can't die, so you'll have to get used to the word master. Kim Gongja smirked. Do you have skills that make you delusional? Get ready to serve, Gongja. The Sword Emperor chuckled darkly. Ahee! Kim Gongja joined in. Ki-hey. As they laughed, nearby hunters whispered, I think he's insane. A few moments later, a guard stopped Kim Gongja. You cannot, Kim Gongja frowned. What? The guard continued. Are you trying to challenge the boss by yourself? Solo hunting here is an act of suicide. Haven't you seen the news? The Black Dragon Guild failed after organizing a 34-member elite team. Kim Gongja smirked. So what? It's the law that any hunter who wants to challenge the boss can enter. The guard sighed. Excuse me, but I record all the hunters entering and exiting. Auditors'll check these records later. Then I'll be the bad guy who allowed someone to enter who was obviously going to die. Please understand my position too. The Sword Emperor growled. What? Auditors? There was nothing like that in my world. Kim Gongja scratched his head, wondering what to do. The Sword Emperor muttered. They're forever stuck on the 10th floor because they're caught up in politics like this, Kim Jombi. Just beat up this bastard and enter. Kim Gongja smiled gently at the guard. I know you're having a hard time. You're right, actually, I really want to commit suicide. The guard blinked in confusion. The Sword Emperor's voice dropped. What? Kim Gongja explained, his tone calm. 1 year ago, my lover... Not long ago. The Ministry of Alchemy told me I have an incurable disease. They said I'd die in 6 months. But I can't live without my lover. Even though I'm weak, I'm still a hunter. Rather than waiting for my end in an alchemy hospital, I'd rather die fighting monsters in my last moments. The guard, clearly moved, said softly, Something like that happened to you. Kim Gongja handed him a bag of coins. This is what I saved for my hospital bills. The guard hesitated. I can't take your money. Kim Gongja shook his head. I can't spend it anyway. I'd rather leave this world with nothing on me. Officer, you don't even have to record my entry. It's my last wish as a hunter. The guard fought back tears. I understand. Go ahead. I didn't see anyone today. The Sword Emperor, astounded, muttered, This is bullshit. Are you two recording a movie? Suddenly the gates opened. Kim Gongja entered and said to himself, I just have to go to the 10th floor, right? At the 10th floor. Kim Gongja stood before the door. This is the floor that the Flame Emperor, Yu Suha, cleared before. Today, I'll leave a legacy far greater than his. He pushed open the door to the mansion. Inside, dolls with large, eerie red eyes stared at him intently. Hee! One of them giggled. Hey, Hugh! Another joined in, their voices echoing eerily. The mansion suddenly erupted in flames. The dolls chirped. Play with us. Will you play with us? What shall we play? Catch. Hide and seek? The ice had all melted, and the flowers had been burned away. Let's play hide and seek. One of the dolls giggled. Yeah, play with us. Play hide and seek with us. The others chimed in. A system notification rang. You have entered the boss stage. Another notification followed. Challenger, Kim Gongja, 1 person. Kim Gongja, undeterred, said to himself, Sure, I'll play with you. May luck stay on your side. A system notification added on. In a different timeline, far in the future, a reporter stood in front of a camera, speaking with urgency. The Black Dragon Guild, who held the title of the strongest guild since the tower opened, has just recorded their 30th failure. The reporter turned to Anastasia. What do you think was the reason for your failure? Anastasia responded calmly, We do not lack skill. We were simply unlucky. Yusuha over here and scoffed. Oh? Are you sure about that? Ding! The 10th floor stage has been cleared. Yusuha spoke with a smug smile. Luck is also a skill, you pushovers. Kim Gongja, over here and thought to himself, This interview will be remembered as the pushover declaration in the future. He took a breath. I have only one question. Among all the different types of hunters, why was the Flame Emperor the only one who managed to clear the 10th floor? Entering the boss... 10th floor boss, Hellfire Maiden. One of the dolls turned to Kim Gongja and sang, Play with us. You must make it fun, okay? Kim Gongja smiled wryly. The way to clear this stage is simple. A doll melted from the flames, her voice high-pitched and mocking. Mister, you're it! Who's the real one? Kim Gongja thought to himself, You have to find the real doll within the mansion. Another doll shouted, Quick, find it! Quick, find it! Kim Gongja narrowed his eyes. A single real doll. Destroy it. The Sword Emperor's voice echoed, This is no ordinary flame. This is hellfire made with aura. Kim Gongja mentally braced himself. No matter how much aura you wrap around your body to form a barrier, you'll last at most 10 minutes in these flames. Nearby, a hunter coughed as he touched a blonde doll. Yu Suha, likewise touching it, muttered, Bust again. Kim Gongja thought, but to a hunter who uses a fire-type aura, there's hardly any effect at all. Yu Suha Bust again. Hide yourself away. Kim Gongja clenched his fists. That's why. That bastard was able to clear it safely. Then he boasted that luck was a skill after doing that. A doll giggled. Or I might spot you. The Sword Emperor snickered. The guy who lives off luck is you, zombie. Kim Gongja snapped. What do you mean, I live off my luck? He could feel the heat pressing in, his body straining to withstand it. The heat is killing me. I'm struggling to endure this with my aura. The Sword Emperor's voice was grim. Even so, your limit'll come in around a minute from now. A doll jeered. Done already? Another echoed. Done already? The Sword Emperor added. By the way, old man Marcus can last 30 minutes in flames like this. He's just waiting for the day he can last over an hour. Unlike someone who barged in straight away. Kim Gongja dryly responded. Thank you so much for the information. The Sword Emperor laughed. So? You only have 2 What are you going to do? The dolls, now circling, whispered. Hide yourself away or I might spot you. Kim Gongja clenched his teeth. What am I going to do? I'll think about it after I die first. The Sword Emperor jeered. You think your aura'll suddenly expand when you die here? There are 2 ways to clear this place. Find the real doll by sheer luck, or be skilled enough to use your aura to survive the flames long enough to find it. But you, idiot, only bet on 2 coins. You won't make it. Kim Gongja chuckled under his breath. Hey, this guy only knows half of it. We'll see who wins after I die once. He glanced at the dolls, calculating the time. Time until my aura runs out. 10 seconds. Shall I just randomly grab one for now? A doll stood silently before him. It suddenly glanced at Kim Gongja and asked, Are you going to play with me? Kim Gongja reached out and touched it. Got you. The doll screeched. Wrong, I'm not it, I'm not it, I'm not it. Kim Gongja grunted to himself. 5 seconds left. He touched another doll and it gasped. I'm not it. It continued. I'm not it. Then it too melted away. 3 seconds. Kim Gongja thought, frustration building. Did they really have to design the boss stage like this? The Sword Emperor scoffed. Who would understand the divine thoughts of the tower? It's a perverted psychopath who gives a broken skill to a slacker like you. Kim Gongja groaned. Man, your choice of words. With only 1 second left, Kim Gongja could feel his aura shattering. He screamed in agony. Ah! The Sword Emperor smirked. Time's up, zombie. Kim Gongja's body was consumed by the flames. Kiwak, it's burning. The Sword Emperor laughed bitterly. And you're a masochist who exceeds the tower itself. Kim Gongja muttered, Kill me quick. The Sword Emperor's voice echoed. No matter how badly you wanted to become the best hunter, to accept a plan to burn to death like this, there's no denying it, Kim Zombie. You're a real masochist. Kim Gongja thought to himself faster. A system notification suddenly appeared. You have died. Then another. Because of your death, the skill requirements have been met. A final notification, randomly copying monster Hellfire Maiden's skills. Kim Gongja, before the flames overtook him, shouted, You haven't forgotten the promise, right? The Sword Emperor spoke with a laugh. Yeah, I know. Do I look like the kind of narrow-minded jerk who doesn't keep his promises? Kim Gongja heard the excitement in the Sword Emperor's voice. Ooh, yo, this one's a jackpot. A system notification appeared. Inferno Barrier. Rank. S. Effect, grudge, resentment, anger. Your deep resentment has remained unresolved. Your voice unheard. Your hopes unfulfilled. Burn 'em all away. It's burning. Is it burning? Cover the world in fire. I think I'm going to die. If you wish, a fiery hell made of oral descend in a radius of 2 kilometers around you. However, you must be inside the barrier. The Sword Emperor laughed. This is definitely it. Shut up and choose this one. To begin with, it's the only S-rank skill this boss monster has. Just imagine hellfire like we saw earlier, coming up whenever you want. Bam! Kim Gongja looked at the skill card, his mind racing. What's wrong? What are you thinking about? He paused, glancing at the card. No, it's just... Something doesn't feel right, Kim Gongja thought to himself. What is it? His mind flashed back to the doll's voice. I'm not it. It's definitely a good skill, but I feel uneasy inside. Kim Gongja reflected. Anyway, let's look at the other skills too, he said aloud. The Sword Emperor grumbled. I don't get it, but fine. A new list of skills appeared. labyrinth planning, rank, doll control, rank B, remote control, rank B, trap placement, rank key, and the last. The Sword Emperor paused, stunned. Wait, this. Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. I knew it. No, wait, Gongja, the Sword Emperor exclaimed, but it was too late. Kim Gongja took the card. This is the one. The Sword Emperor, trying to excite him, said, Look at this. Wow, a golden card. So cool. If you get this, you can set up a hellfire barrier instantly. Everyone will be attracted to you in your devilish style. Kim Gongja's internal voice remained cold. No, this is the card I wanted. He stared at the card, memories swirling in his mind. I felt something strange from the beginning. One real doll among tens of thousands of fakes. The real doll has the fire, aura, so it won't burn. But why aren't the fake dolls burning? The Sword Emperor grinned. There's one answer to that. Kim Gongja, having realized the truth, took the silver skill card. Another system notification appeared. Be careful of fire. Awake or sleep. Rank. A. Effect. Hot. If you leave something this hot alone, our house is going to burn down. But don't worry now. The living beings and objects that you designate will not burn anymore. Enjoy a safe life free from the fears of flames. However, the damage received by water-type and ice-type beings increases by 300%. Kim Gongja's mind clicked. It had a skill that allows the caster to not burn a target of choice. Another notification followed. Choice completed. Copying skill. The Sword Emperor cursed under his breath. Damn it, this is one shitty bet. Kim Gongja burst into laughter. You haha. Go ahead and say Sir Gongja. Go on, you have died. Return into 24 hours before. Your current hunter rank is E. Kim Gongja grinned as the world reset. Now we can go back without worry and take a look around the mansion until we find the real doll. He sighed. Man, this game has gotten too easy. A system notification blared. Penalty occurs due to the skill. Kim Gongja froze. Oh yeah, another notification followed, recreating the trauma of the enemy who killed you. Trauma? The system responded. Level of the penalty, weak. Kim Gongja narrowed his eyes. What is this? The notifications continued. Commencing penalty. Recreating Monster Hellfire Maiden's trauma. In a memory at the mansion, a scene unfolded. A kid stood outside a door, hungry. Mister, I'm hungry. A man opened the door, looking disinterested. The kid begged, Just one piece of bread, please. Anything, even scraps, is okay. The man sighed, muttering, Another beggar this morning? The kid persisted. Just a slice of bread. A woman, overhearing, commented, Aren't there more orphans begging in our neighborhood these days? The kid, exhausted, responded, It's okay, even if it has mold. A man in the crowd said, There's nothing to eat because... The kid, looking desperate, whimpered, I'm so hungry. Another man, dismissing him, said, these gross kids. The kid repeated, One bread, please. A voice from the crowd spoke harshly. I don't know where they're coming from. One person grumbled, I wish someone would clear 'em all up. Then the scene took a darker turn. The child, in desperation, accidentally bumped into a man. Ouch, I'm sorry, mister. The man raised his hand and grabbed the child's head roughly. Do you have parents? You look very hungry, the man said coldly. Your body hurts everywhere, doesn't it? The child, trembling, nodded. Yeah, mister, I'm so hungry. The man smiled in a twisted way. Come with me, I'm a doctor, I have many of your friends in my mansion. You can get treatment and play with them. The child asked eagerly. Kind mister, when can I go out and play? The man replied with a grim tone. Be patient. A person who seeks food just for hunger is an... Just because you were born like an animal doesn't mean you should grow up like one, right? The man continued. I know you orphans well. You don't work because you're young. You travel from village to village, spreading diseases like a virus. The child was confused and scared as the man added, I'm a doctor and a guard who removes diseases like you. Sacrifice yourself. The country's famine, the man said, had one cause. These orphans who only beg. A crowd gathered, shouting, Children of the witches! Zrakoa's poison and our country's viruses! The executioner stood ready. I will save this land by sacrificing you to God. The child's eyes widened in horror as they watched their friend be put to sleep forever. The villagers roared, "Kill 'em, kill 'em!" The kid whispered to himself, "Kind mister." The kind mister, with a cold tone, said, "We don't have enough sacrifices. We need more for the next event." The kid, trembling, asked, "Where are you taking my friends? Why do you keep hurting us? Why?" The Sword Emperor cursed. "Wow, what is this?" Kim Gongja turned to him. "Are you seeing this?" The Sword Emperor sighed. "I saw it from the start. I forgot you were here. I can't see you right now." Kim Gongja nodded slowly. "I guess only our consciousness is floating around." The Sword Emperor's voice quivered in disbelief. "How can they be this crazy? How dare they sacrifice innocent children?" Kim Gongja narrowed his eyes. "This is probably the 10th level boss stage's original copy." A system notification echoed in the silence, recalling the trauma of the enemy who you have killed. Kim Gongja's heart sank. "I had no idea a monster could have once been human." The Sword Emperor grunted in frustration. "Not all monsters are like this. Only the bosses. Boss monsters are formed from events in another world. Creatures, heroes, everything that happened there. It becomes clearer as you climb higher, around the 11th floor." Kim Gongja turned to him, his voice shook. "Why didn't you tell me this before?" The Sword Emperor shrugged. "You never asked. But it's my first time seeing the original copy." The kid cried out in hunger, his voice weak. "I'm hungry. Is anybody there?" The Sword Emperor's voice softened. "I only knew they were from another world, but there's no way to know what they went through. Seen it with my own eyes. It freaking sucks." The butler stumbled in panic as the candle in his hand tipped over, catching the mansion's curtains on fire. Kim Gongja whispered to himself, "Somewhere in the world, things like this are always happening." As the butler screamed, "Fire!" The helper shouted, "Quick! Escape the mansion!" Kim Gongja's voice was urgent. "Wait!" The kind Mr. ran, shouting at the helper, "Carry the jewels on your way." Kim Gongja snapped, "Aren't you forgetting something? There are kids in the basement." The children's agonized screams echoed through the mansion. "No! Anyone there! It's hot!" The flames grew, threatening to consume everything. The kid whimpered, "We didn't do anything bad. We just didn't want to starve. We just wanted to play with our friends. We just wanted to play a little while longer." The mansion burned, the fire consuming everything in its path. A system notification chimed, reenactment of trauma completed. Penalty ended. Kim Gongja sat on his bed, clutching his chest, feeling the weight of the pain from the trauma. He was silent for a moment, trying to steady his breath. The Sword Emperor muttered, What happened to him was tragic and sad, but there's nothing we can do about it now, right?" Kim Gongja glared at him, his voice cold. "Wow, that's really the first thing you can say. You're really something else." The Sword Emperor rolled his eyes. "Yeah, I'm trash, but what can we do? The truth is never what you want to hear. That boss is just a monster now. The original children are long dead in the other world, before you were even... What can we do? If that had happened in the tower, sure, maybe you could die 1,000 times trying to save them. But that happened in the other world. No one can solve this problem. You have to find the real doll and kill it." Kim Gongja's voice hardened, "And climb to the 11th floor. 20th, 30th, 40th, 50th. That's how you clear it." The Sword Emperor growled, "Exactly. If you want to be the strongest hunter, the one at the top, you'll have to solve problems like this." Kim Gongja took a deep breath. That's probably what the Flame Emperor thought too. Yu Suha would have found the real doll and taken care of it without a second thought, no matter how much trauma he saw. The Sword Emperor barked, "So what? What's your point?" Kim Gongja's face darkened. "I don't want to be like that Flame Emperor bastard." The Sword Emperor smirked. "Then what's your plan? Are you just going to sit there, not clearing the boss because you don't want to be like... You need to kill the boss to clear the floor, you zombie bastard." Kim Gongja clenched his fists. Who decided that? In a sudden burst of anger, Kim Gongja slammed the door. "Damn it, I was a fool. I didn't know anything from the beginning." The Sword Emperor raised an eyebrow. "What are you talking about?" Kim Gongja, his voice shaking with frustration, shouted, "I was a fool, and you were too, damn it. Do you remember when you made a scene and forced me to choose an S-Class skill?" The Sword Emperor scoffed. "Who do you think I am, a zombie?" Of course I remember. Kim Gongja's eyes blazed. Resentment, hostility, vengeance, the resentment you couldn't pacify, the voices unheard, the dreams unfulfilled. Burn all of that. If you wish for it, a fiery hell made of oral descend in a radius of 2 kilometers around you. No one can escape this hell without your permission. Doesn't that sound strange? The Sword Emperor was growing impatient. Kim Gongja stepped forward, his voice low and intense. The last part. No one can escape this hell without your permission. Then, how were the Black Dragon Guild able to return all alive without killing the boss? The Sword Emperor's face fell as realization hit him. You're right, how could that be? Kim Gongja smirked. There's only one answer. The boss gave permission to escape. Kim Gongja opened the door, his mind racing. This is the stage that no human could clear. The dolls laughed eerily in the distance, their voices whispering, hee 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 hee. As Kim Gongja walked toward the dolls, their eerie voices echoed in the air. Hee hee! They giggled. Kim Gongja whispered to himself, the boss only wants one thing from the visitor. The dolls chirped, play with us. Kim Gongja nodded, his expression unchanging. Sure, let's play. A system notification flashed. Skill, be wary of fire takes effect. Kim Gongja continued into the burning mansion. The dolls giggled again. Ha, mister, you're not burning. Isn't it hot? Then you can play with us. Kim Gongja smirked. Yeah, hide and seek it is. Be careful, everyone. I never lost a round when I was little. One doll laughed nervously. Mister is weird. Kim Gongja covered his eyes. I'll start counting, he said. Hide. The dolls scrambled. Everyone hide, they cried. Kim Gongja squinted, his voice playful. I can see your hair. The Sword Emperor muttered to himself. He's playing hide and seek with kids stuck to the ground. Kim Gongja chuckled. Run and hide well. The dolls squealed. Run far away. Let's run so he can never find us. Don't get caught by Mister. Kim Gongja grinned. Okay, I'm starting. I found you, he said, pointing to one doll. The doll quickly protested. Wrong, it's not me. Kim Gongja narrowed his eyes. Huh, then is it you? He asked another doll. No, that's not me, the doll replied. Growled. It has to be you. Nope, not me, the doll insisted. Another doll chimed in. Wrong. Kim Gongja sighed, scratching his head. This is harder than I thought. He thought back to playing with the kids. Then is it you? He asked a girl doll. Nope, not me, the girl giggled. Sword Emperor raised an eyebrow. Oi! This is a memorial. A child's voice echoed. Wrong, not me, not me. The voices continued. Nope, not me, it's... Kim Gongja looked at a doll locked in a cage. It stared back at him. Will you play with us? The doll asked quietly. Kim Gongja smiled grimly. I caught you, it's your turn now. The doll stared at him, its expression softening. Kind Mister, thank you. As the doll melted, it whispered, thank you. A system notification chimed. Congratulations. Normal stage clear. Hidden stage clear. You have cleared the boss stage. Raid. Hunter Kim Gongja. 1 person. Calculate and clear reward. Complete. The reward will be given to you 24 hours later when you enter the 11th floor. Sword Emperor smirked. Why do you look like you just ate something horrible? Clearing hidden stages wasn't easy, even for me. But you did it. And the reward's pretty good, isn't it? Kim Gongja's expression darkened. You wouldn't understand. You're not human. I was just thinking about how messed up the world is. What we saw in the boss stage, whether it's this world or ours, shitty things like that'll always happen. Sword Emperor fell silent. Well, humans are all the same. The two stood in quiet reflection before Sword Emperor broke the silence with a shout of frustration. Whatever! I can't talk about stuff like this. You were amazing back there. He slapped Kim Gongja's back. You cleared the boss your own way, good job. Kim Gongja eyed him suspiciously. You're being suspicious. Sword Emperor gave him a thumbs up and a sparkling smile. Oi, I mean it. It wasn't luck that got you through. It was your own skill. If something good happens, we should rejoice together. Suddenly, fireworks exploded above them. A system notification rang out. Announcement, the 10th floor stage has been cleared. The 11th floor will open in 24 hours. In the chat, Anonymous. What? What's with the fireworks? Anonymous, there are fireworks on the 1st floor. Is it just here? Hunter Anonymous. I'm on the 3rd floor and we have 'em too. Anonymous, anyone else hear about the 10th floor being cleared? Anonymous, was it the Black Dragon? They haven't said anything though. Anonymous, they said their next conquest will be in 2 weeks. As the timer above ticked down, the 24-hour countdown began. Sword Emperor spoke again, his tone distant. At last I saw this exact scene in my past life. Kim Gongja nodded. This is my 2nd time. Kim Gongja pulled out his phone and opened the HunterNet forum. 245,682. Who cleared the 10th floor? 45. 245,681. Definitely not the Black Dragon. 52. 245,680. What the hell happened? 245,679. We reached the 10th. 245,678. To the sound of friends. 245,671. Anonymous. It's definitely not the Black Dragon. The executives are on the 1st floor cafe across from Anonymous. I'm praying at the Pantheon, and the temple leaders are here. It's not them either. Anonymous. Viper is teaching students right now. Anonymous. Crusader is working at Babylon Plaza. Anonymous. I'm an executive in the merchant troupe. I can't reveal my identity, but it's not us. Anonymous. It's not a guild. Then isn't it the Sword Saint? Anonymous. Sword Saint is drinking milk next to me. Anonymous. What does this mean? Anonymous. It doesn't make sense. Anonymous. No one knows who cleared it? Anonymous. Who was it? Sword Emperor chuckled. You've gone from an extra to the main character. How does it feel? Kim Gongja grinned. It feels amazing. Feels like I have the world in the palm of my hands. Does it? Don't get it wrong. You barely managed to clear the 10th floor, but you're the closest in your world to reaching the top. Kim Gongja's grin grew, but his eyes hardened. I know. We just need to actually reach the top of the tower, Kim Gongja murmured, as the guard from earlier ran toward him, shouting, Sir Hunter, was it you? The guard's voice trembled. Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. What are you talking about? The person who cleared the 10th floor, the guard stammered. You're the only one who challenged the 10th floor today. Things are super crazy right now. The higher-ups keep asking me what happened here. Kim Gongja gave him a curious glance. And if I did, what are you going to do about it? He casually tapped the guard's armor. The guard looked confused and nervous. Huh? Well, I still haven't heard. My name. I gave you 100% gold, though. Kim Gongja smirked. The guard's face paled. At least tell me your nickname. Kim Gongja shrugged. I don't have one. Sword Emperor snickered. Ha! Look at his face, he whispered, watching the guard's jaw drop. You made the right choice, Sword Emperor continued. Your name is valuable. You have to hide your identity and make him find you. Kim Gongja nodded thoughtfully. I just realized something, huh? What did you realize? Sword Emperor asked, raising an eyebrow. A system notification flashed on Kim Gongja's screen. Please state the floor you want to go to. Kim Gongja glanced at Sword Emperor, a mischievous smile crossing his face. The reason you're praising me so much. You said you'd call me Lord Gongja if I cleared the boss in 2 coins, didn't you? He looked behind him, taunting. Wow, what should we do now? I really did clear the 10th floor within 2 coins. Sword Emperor's voice wavered as he said, Gongja, we're partners. Think about it. We're partners. You and I, equals. The 99th floor, and the one who'll clear the 100th. Partners. Friends. As Sword Emperor massaged Kim Gongja's shoulders, Kim Gongja picked his ears. 1st floor. A system notification appeared. Go into the 1st floor city. Sword Emperor's face fell. Gongja? Kim Gongja grinned. Whatever. Just call me Lord Gongja from now on, for the rest of your life. A few moments later, they found themselves sitting in Starbucks coffee. One person at a nearby table murmured, Someone really cleared the 10th floor? His friend shook his head. I keep watching the news. but I don't see anything about it. Another friend suggested, maybe the black dragon cleared it and is hiding it on purpose. No, I'm telling you, another chimed in. I'm sure it was the Sword Saint. Kim Gongja glanced at Sword Emperor, sipping his caramel macchiato. What do you think, Mr. Sword Emperor? Victory is sweet, isn't it? Just like this caramel macchiato. Sword Emperor was silent. Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. Huh? I can't hear you. Are my earphones broken? Mr. Sword Emperor? Excuse me, Mr. Sword Emperor? Mr. Psychopath? Mr. Lunatic? Sword Emperor didn't respond, just facing the wall in silence. Kim Gongja sighed. Ah, I can finally hear you. I thought you went deaf again. You made your lord worry. You shouldn't do that. He grinned. Oi, can we talk casually now? It'd be so weird if I talked to you formally while you address me as your lord, right? Sword Emperor groaned. Just kill me. Just get a new skill and replace Sword Constellation. I want to go back to old man Marcus. Kim Gongja smirked. That's no small decision. Aren't we lifelong partners? We'll be together forever. As the countdown in the sky read 22:30–2:50, Kim Gongja muttered to himself, It's been an hour and a half. It's about time. Suddenly, his thoughts were interrupted as he took another sip of his caramel macchiato. Something caught his attention. To think that such a big shot would come find me. A cute cat appeared beside him and meowed softly. Kim Gongja, thinking to himself, no one knows about this cat yet. I'll pretend I don't know. He bent down, rubbing the cat's fur, and absently commenting, Are you lost? Want to play with me? The cat purred contentedly in response. Nia? Kim Gongja couldn't help but smile to himself. The person inside this cat must be a lunatic. What amazing acting just then. Someone approached him. Excuse me, are you Hunter Kim Gongja? A voice asked. Kim Gongja looked up. He smirked. I was wondering how long it'd take. It's been exactly 1 hour and 30 minutes. He showed his hunter card. Hunter Kim Gongja. The group of people gasped. The black guy spoke up. Yeah, we found him. The kung fu lady exclaimed. The cafe in front of the bank. The warrior stepped forward, a determined look on his face. Don't worry, I won't let another guild take him. He approached recruiter for the Vigilante Guild. Hunter Kim Gongja, if you join our guild. Kim Gongja cut him off. Sorry to interrupt, but let me just say 2 things. The group paused, confused. Kim Gongja held up a finger. First, don't let my name slip to the press. The boy looked uncertain. Until when? Kim Gongja nodded. Just until the clock hits midnight. I don't want to get caught by reporters before I enter the 11th floor either. The kung fu lady nodded. That much is fine. Kim Gongja continued. And second, this is a public area, so be mindful of the customers. The kung fu lady quickly apologized. I apologize. The boy spoke up again. I'm from the bureau. How much will it cost to rent the cafe for an hour? The black guy chimed in. Oi! Get us some coffee too. The kung fu lady nodded again. Yeah, everyone. Thank you for your cooperation. A few moments later, the coffee was served. Kim Gongja looked at the guild representatives gathered around him. There. Let's start. Please tell me your conditions. The blonde boy hesitated before speaking. We're offering 10,000 gold as a down payment, black guy scoffed. It seems the Vigilante Guild doesn't have much money. Join the Adventure League. We'll give you 20,000. The kung fu lady quickly jumped in. Please join the Heavenly Martial Clan. We'll bring you to the master for training and offer 25,000 gold as a down payment. The long-haired man chimed in. It's not like you need training. If you join Pantheon, we'll give you an honorary position. A kid from the bureau stepped forward. Please join the bureau as an ambassador. Kim Gongja watched them with mild amusement. Looks like they were pretty surprised by the name of the Sword Saint. He overheard a murmuring. The Vigilante Guild can offer 36,000 gold. Kim Gongja smirked to himself. The Sword Saint is rank 1 and not even in a guild. Another person sneered. Guilds with no money should stay out of this. You only raised your offer by 1,000. Because of that, people have been wary of guilds and their motives, Kim Gongja thought. One of the guild leaders said, the vigilante. So, they want someone to overshadow the rumors about the Sword Saint, Kim Gongja mused, as he watched the group bicker. As they continued to argue, the cute cat on his lap suddenly spoke up. 500,000 gold, the cat said, jumping down from Kim Gongja's lap and morphing into a lady. I'll also give you the title of Vice Guild Leader, she added, her voice smooth and commanding. Kim Gongja blinked in surprise. The woman who stood before him was none other than the rank 3, Merchant Alliance, Guild Leader, Countess. Finally, a real negotiation, Kim Gongja thought, taking off his earphones. Countess smirked. You've got guts, and you don't seem that surprised that a cat turned into a human. Kim Gongja raised. Thank you. I do have guts. I even see ghosts and stuff. Countess laughed, clearly entertained. Ha ha ha, you're relaxed enough to joke. I like that. Kim Gongja thought to himself, I can't believe the hunter in front of me is in her 40s. She's probably the richest at the top of the tower, so she must drink a youth potion every day. The blonde guy was starting to look uncomfortable. Troop leader, excuse me, but... Countess didn't even look at him. You're excused. The blonde guy hesitated. Isn't 500,000 gold and the Vice Guild Master too much? Subjugating the 10th floor is impressive, but we don't really know much about Kim Gongja's skills. Countess glared at him. Are you done? The blonde guy quickly fell silent. Countess didn't skip a beat. Then before you excuse yourself any further, go bring your bosses. Kim Gongja waved him off. Sorry, but I can't hold a conversation with you. If there's anyone who can bet higher than 500,000 gold, they can stay. As the guild leaders left, one of them muttered, Freaking cat! Countess turned to Kim Gongja. He's here! Suddenly, guild leaders began to enter. Rank 5, Heavenly Martial Clan, Guild Leader Viper, one of them barked, storming in. Freaking girl dog! This damned... Rank 4, Pantheon, Guild Leader, Cult Interrogator, another man entered with a calm demeanor. I'm a step behind. I admit it was our mistake. Rank 8, Vigilante Guild, Vice Guild Leader Paladin. Mistake isn't the right word. Our job is to stop existing hunters from being confused. Troop Leader, you were too excessive. Kim Gongja glanced at the last member who entered, a silent figure. Rank 2, Black Dragon, Guildmaster, Black Witch. Countess smiled warmly. Welcome. Kim Gongja felt a shock of realization. They're all the highest rankers. Countess sighed. I don't know how long it's been since we've all gathered. It feels like only yesterday when we subjugated the 2nd floor together. We've gotten old. Viper snorted. Shut up before I boil you up into soup. Suddenly he froze, eyes widening in shock. 500,000 gold? Vice Guild Master? Flaunting your wealth is your specialty, so the gold was expected. But Vice Guild Master? The Heresy Inquisitor from Pantheon threw his hands up. All right, let's order coffee first. He plopped into a chair with a sigh. It's rude to not order when you've come to a cafe. Should the people who lead the tower's greatest guilds be seen like this? I'm going to order a cafe mocha. What about everyone else? He asked, glancing around. Paladin, the Vice Guild leader, looked thoughtful. A nice cold cafe latte sounds nice. Anastasia, a member of the Black Dragon Guild, added, hazelnut latte, hot, extra shot, grande. Countess spoke up. I'll have a hot Americano. Viper, clearly agitated, shouted, The world's been turned upside down because the 10th floor was cleared, and you guys can drink coffee. Do your brains run on caffeine? The Heresy Inquisitor grinned. A dark espresso for the Heavenly Martial Clan's master. Understood. The barista, now sweating, nervously called out, Yeah! Then, 1 tall iced cafe mocha, 1 tall hot Americano, 1 tall iced cafe latte, 1 grand hot hazelnut latte, 1 doppio espresso. Oh, and what would Hunter Kim Gongja like? Kim Gongja looked at the guildmasters, all eyes on him, trying to gauge his reaction. They're all testing me, he thought. Sword Emperor's voice echoed in his mind. Don't be scared. They're just trying to test you by scaring you. Kim Gongja smirked. I know it's nothing compared to being burned alive. Right now what I need to show 'em is relaxation, he decided. He calmly addressed the barista. Manager, can I get a menu? The barista handed it over, visibly relieved. Kim Gongja examined the menu earlier, but I'm not really feeling coffee right now. Can I get a hot chocolate? The barista nodded, barely holding it together. All right. Kim Gongja reflected to himself. To be honest, if there's a reason I'm not that afraid of 'em, it's interesting. It seems like you didn't do much before subjugating the 10th floor. It's almost like you became an entirely different person. Kim Gongja considered his words carefully. Because the worst they could do is kill me. Sword Emperor's voice echoed in his mind. Yeah, this is both your talent and strength. Ask 'em to try killing you if they're scared. Kim Gongja kept his cool, muttering under his breath. Thanks for the support, but I'm not releasing you. Sword Emperor's voice growled in frustration. Shit! This youngster recently was chosen as my guild's lottery winner. He's got luck and guts, and he probably has skills too. If a youngster has these three, they'll succeed no matter what they do. Viper scoffed. There's no way someone who cleared the 10th floor is a newbie. Didn't I tell you before? Stop pretending and just scout him. Anastasia, sharp as ever, cut in. That's not the point. Just because some of our reputations were hurt doesn't mean all of ours were. Let's put our personal problems aside for later. She turned her gaze to Kim Gongja. Hunter Kim Gongja, I'll ask you bluntly. Which guild are you planning on joining? If you're not planning on registering with any guild like the Sword Saint, let us know now. We need to discuss how to handle the media if that happens. Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. And if I am planning on joining, Anastasia's smile grew. Then an intense auction will start. We've stayed too long on the 9th floor. But since you cleared the 10th, the opportunity to advertise the tower's value to the outside world has returned. We need to bring people who aren't just war refugees. And most importantly, the hunters who are living comfortably on the 1st floor will be drawn in with a renewed sense of adventure. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. What kind of world will await at the 11th floor? Curiosity is what drives the tower. Kim Gongja's expression remained neutral. The food shortage will be resolved too. Anastasia nodded. Exactly. It's hard to manage the food supply with only 9 floors. Countess added, I've kept a route open from the outside world, but it's not enough. It's time for a new product. Anastasia continued. We need to bring adventurers to the land beyond the 10th floor and find things that can only be found there. We need to positively appeal to the tower's potential. An icon that'll advertise the start of a new era. Kim Gongja thought to himself, just like what the Flame Emperor did. Kim Gongja then spoke up, his voice measured. And you're saying that icon is me, right? But the Black Dragon tried to assassinate that icon. Was it the witch from Black Dragon? He wondered, unsure of the reasons behind their actions. Still, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. He looked around at the gathered guild leaders. I understand what you're saying. You're saying the guild that successfully recruits me will become the new symbol of the tower's growth, and the others will likely end up as lackeys. He paused, a slight smirk on his lips. I'll feel bad if that happens, so let's do this. Kim Gongja pulled something from his pocket, catching everyone's attention. Anastasia frowned. Playing cards. Kim Gongja grinned. I'll join the guild of whoever wins first place in a game of poker. I don't need money or positions. However, if I win, I'll apply to all your guilds simultaneously. I'll be a guild member on the outside, but in reality, you'll have to treat me as if I'm on the same level as all of you. Countess raised an just cleared a floor wants to be put on the same level as us. How amusing. I accept. Heresy Inquisitor leaned back in his chair. As long as there's no trickery, I'm fine with it. Viper scowled. Let's not use our skills either. If anyone uses their skill, that person is automatically disqualified. Paladin shrugged. Our guild's poor, so if we bet on you, we'll lose anyway. This is fine. Anastasia folded her arms, nodding. Fine, I accept your proposal. Kim Gongja turned to Sword Emperor with a teasing grin. Sword Emperor. Be honest, you don't like calling me Lord Gongja, do you? Sword Emperor blinked in confusion. Ha! Kim Gongja chuckled. Just call me that until the end of this game. Sword Emperor's jaw dropped in surprise. Huh? Can I really do that? Kim Gongja gave him a sly wink. In exchange, tell me what cards each of these players is holding. Sword Emperor's face lit up. That's easy, Lord Gongja. Kia, I'll accept your kind offer, Lord Gongja. I'll even tell you if they're cheating. Lord Gongja is so generous. Kim Gongja smirked. All right, shall we begin? Sword Emperor grinned widely. Gongjanim, this one has a straight. You should fold. Kim Gongja nodded, folding his hand. Die. Sword Emperor laughed. This guy's really going to bluff with one pair. Shame, shame. Call and kill him at once. Kim Gongja placed coins into the pot. Call. Sword Emperor leaned in, eyeing the game with excitement. This one's going for a full house. Don't worry, Lord Gongja. I looked under the table and at the deck. There's no way he can get a full house. Trust me and go all in. Kim Gongja grinned and pushed all his coins into the pot. I'm going all in. The table fell silent. Viper slammed his fist on the table in frustration. Freak! This is a scam! As Countess and Paladin took their cups of coffee from the table, Viper pointed at Kim Gongja, his frustration evident. This doesn't make sense. It's already been 30 rounds, and this guy hasn't lost a... Bluffing doesn't work either. This is totally a scam. Kim Gongja, sipping his cup of cocoa, responded casually. Do you have any evidence? I could be a master poker player. I'd feel bad if you accused me without proof, senior. He gave a sparkling peace sign toward Viper. Viper scowled. Look at how he's gloating. There's no way this guy is an F rank. Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. Wow, how did you know I wasn't an F rank? I didn't have a chance to report it, but I moved up to E rank just yesterday. Viper's eyes widened. I knew it. I knew something was off. Then, as if catching up with himself, he added, Huh? Kim Gongja smirked. Thanks for the praise. He glanced over at Viper. By the way, did you use up all your chips, Mr. Gatekeeper? Viper hesitated. Ah? Anastasia, silent until now, watched the scene unfold, her gaze unreadable. Heresy Inquisitor chuckled. Welcome, Heavenly Gatekeeper. I thought it was about time the Heavenly Martial clan got thrown out. So, I ordered you another espresso. Please accept it, Viper shouted in frustration. I said I don't want it. Heresy Inquisitor smiled calmly. Yeah, I know you must overcome it. Viper's fury was palpable. You freaking religious hack. A few moments later, only Kim Gongja, Paladin, and Anastasia remained at the table. Paladin tossed her cards down with a sigh. I lose. I'm pretty confident in my poker face. Are you using a mind-reading skill? Kim Gongja shrugged nonchalantly. It could be mind-reading. It could be X-ray vision. Try to figure it out. Paladin shook her head, amused. New guys nowadays are pretty tough. Viper leaned in, furious. Oi! How could you give up so easily, you bastard? Whether it works or not, you should keep going. You're just going to let that cheater go. His espresso shot out of his mouth as he shouted. Paladin raised an eyebrow. Cheater? Harsh words for the new hero, she said, sitting back comfortably. Paladin nodded slowly. I knew from the beginning. Viper's jaw dropped. What? Paladin smiled knowingly. It'd be weird not to notice. Do you think a newbie would suggest a game and bet everything on luck? Across the table, Countess calmly began to deal the cards. Paladin continued. The fact that he challenged us with a game means I will beat you without you even realizing my skill. And we accepted that challenge. She turned to Viper with a critical look. Heavenly Martial Clan Leader, I understand that you like to focus on your martial arts, but please use your head from time to time. Viper was stunned, his jaw still hanging open, as espresso dripped from his mouth. Paladin continued. From the start, we had nothing to lose. If we won, it'd be great, but losing has its merits too. Viper sputtered. But think about your pride. How can that newbie stand alongside our ranks? Paladin's response was cold and practical. Put food on the table. Heresy Inquisitor, ever the opportunist, suddenly placed a cup of hot espresso under Viper's nose. It feeds you espresso. Drink up. Viper's frustration boiled over. Freak you. Anastasia watched the scene unfold with a faint smile. I'm glad. Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. Why? Anastasia's eyes softened. Because you're a reasonable person. She paused, her expression turning more somber. I'm from Ukraine. Well, From the place that used to be Ukraine. After losing my family in the Civil War, I've lived as a foreigner my whole life. Whether here or in the outside world, it's no place for a girl to live alone. Kim Gongja nodded, understanding. You're right. With a flick of his wrist, he tossed a coin into the pot. Anastasia's voice was steady. I'm calling. Kim Gongja leaned in slightly, his gaze sharp. So, what are you trying to say? Anastasia's eyes held a quiet intensity. Especially those of the first generation. All have stories. I'm just a normal orphan. Nothing special. Sword Emperor, watching carefully, gave a subtle signal with his lips and fingers indicating that Anastasia had a diamond flush. Anastasia spoke again, her voice soft but firm. This tower might as well be my homeland. Here we never ask people about their origins. That's the kind of world we've created. She placed her coins into the pot, her hand steady. The fact that I'm Ukrainian, that you're Korean, and that the Heavenly Martial clan leader is from China. None of that matters in the tower. Because of the tower, we can all understand each other's words. Here, we are all equal challengers, at least more than we are on the outside. Her voice grew quieter, almost a whisper. The outside world thinks of us as garbage, but even a rose can bloom from a garbage can. Kim Gongja felt the weight of her words, but he didn't let it show. He flicked another coin into the pot. Anastasia met his gaze directly. Kim Gongja. When that clock hits 0, the public will hear all about you. Your life will turn upside down. I hope you choose wisely. Kim Gongja's expression remained unchanged, but he replied with a smile. Good. Not bragging, but I like getting attention. I hope they praise me and want to be like me. That's all. Anastasia nodded slightly, her lips curling into a small smile. You're honest. You're the opposite of the Sword Saint. Kim Gongja's thoughts flashed for a moment. The Black Dragon's guild leader still has a flush. I don't have the hand to beat it, but... He set his jaw. All in. He was confident. I'll tell you all right now, Kim Gongja said, his voice firm. Clearing the 10th floor won't be my only accomplishment. I'll beat the 20th, 30th, 50th, and even the 100th. No matter how long it takes, I will reach the top of this tower. He paused, letting his words sink in. I respect the fact that you all treasure you all needlessly to see who's the most fighting hero, but I'll think of you as rivals. Anastasia watched him quietly, a subtle sadness in her eyes. Kim Gongja continued, I'd much rather see the world beyond the tower than the one within it. Honestly, I don't know much about the famine or the poverty here. If you want to use my name to resolve those problems, go ahead. But please help me climb this tower. I want to taste the feeling of being at the top. Anastasia's gaze turned inward as she sighed softly. I was wrong, Anastasia said, her voice sharp. You're exactly the same as the Sword Saint. With that, she pushed all of her coins into the pot. Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. Is that a compliment? Anastasia shook her head, her lips curling into a slight sneer. No, it's an insult. You're all greedy people. Countess leaned over and glanced at the cards. Black Dragon flush, Kim Gongja full house. There was a tense silence as the group processed the result. Kim Gongja is the final winner. So it is a compliment. Kim Gongja stood up, his expression unreadable. So I'll be expecting to be treated as an equal now. Anastasia met his gaze without flinching. Can I expect you to carry the responsibility that comes with it? Kim Gongja grinned confidently. Isn't the responsibility of a hunter to climb the tower? Don't worry. Anastasia's eyes narrowed. How flippant for a newcomer. Sword Emperor laughed heartily, clapping his hands. Yeah. If flippant was a skill, this guy would be an S rank. Wow, I feel alive again. What the hell is Gongja Nim? He gestured wildly. Zombie, zombie, zombie bastard. Kia, who knew such a beautiful word existed? Kim Gongja muttered to himself. This is the man they call the Sword Emperor. How embarrassing. Anastasia's voice broke the silence. Are you leaving already? Kim Gongja nodded. Yeah, the 11th floor is opening soon. If I don't want to fall behind, I need to get ready. Anastasia said, You don't even know what's there, so how will you do that? Gongja smiled knowingly. Role play. That's the theme of floors 11 through 20. The room went quiet. Anastasia, Paladin, Countess, Heresy Inquisitor stared at Kim Gongja in shock, while Viper angrily threw his cup of espresso across the room. Kim Gongja shrugged. I got a hint for clearing the 10th floor. I don't know anything beyond that. Anastasia looked away, unable to meet his gaze. I will repay this debt someday, Kim Gongja added quietly, his voice sincere. Outside, the countdown was ticking down, 17:42:8. A few hours later, a voice from the crowd asked, No official announcement regarding the 10th floor yet, right? His friend replied, Did you see the video of the Sword Saint? He was really serious, said it definitely wasn't him. A man in the distance held up a sign, 10th floor subjugation celebration, free beer. A woman frowned, shaking her head. And there's nothing on the news. Her friend added, Someone said they saw the guild masters gathered somewhere yesterday. She looked around. Who cleared it? Kim Gongja stared up at the sky, where the countdown was now showing. 0:11 seconds. People in the crowd started chanting the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Kim Gongja glanced at his phone. He opened Google and typed, 10th floor cleared. And the crowd continued counting down, 5, 4. Kim Gongja's phone loaded the page, 3, 2, 1. A blinding light suddenly enveloped the area. And the system's voice boomed, Everyone, as of today, the tutorial has ended. A pause. I repeat, as of today, the tutorial has ended. The voice echoed, The 11th floor. Open the 11th floor. Warriors, climbers of the tower, congratulations on resolving the grudge of the Inferno Mansion. And the crowd gasped in amazement. A woman whispered in awe, I see an angel. A boy next to her looked up, his eyes wide. Is it a Sword Emperor rolled his eyes. Wake up, that's not a goddess. Kim Gongja stared, confused, as the system continued its speech. Sword Emperor scoffed, It's just a system explaining quests to you. Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. Is it like an NPC? The system continued, unaffected. Warriors, there is a world that needs your help. In this world, the people are suffering from the Demon King's invasion. Sword Emperor chuckled darkly. Even if there were such a thing as a goddess, it's nothing more than a recorded video. The system pressed on. From here on, you'll be summoned as warriors to this place, and you'll receive a mission to protect mankind. Kim Gongja frowned. But how do you know that? Sword Emperor paused, momentarily confused, before muttering. Huh? That's cause, the system's voice. If you want to accept this mission, say, transmit. Before anyone could react, Sword St. Marcus Calambry, with incredible speed, dashed forward and leapt toward the system, his sword drawn. With a single swipe, he slashed through the system. The system's voice faltered before continuing. If you want to accept this. But Marcus was already gone, landing atop a nearby building with a graceful thud. The system's voice echoed into the distance, its tone almost pleading. If you want to accept this. Mission, say transmit. A boy in the crowd gasped. What the? It was a hologram. Kim Gongja glanced at Sword St. Marcus Calambry, who was now looking back at him, a mysterious intensity in his eyes. Sword Emperor chuckled, shaking his head. I did that in the past too. See? It's an NPC. Sword St. Marcus Calambry simply said, transmit. In an instant he was teleported. A burst of laughter echoed from the crowd, followed by gasps of shock and disbelief. Heresy Inquisitor, grinning from ear to ear, shouted, "Ah ha 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 ha! I lost again! What a beautiful day!" A woman in the crowd muttered, "Cult Interrogator." "Then I'll see you all on the 11th floor. Transmit." And with that he vanished. One man in the crowd mistakenly called out, "Transmit." People began disappearing one by one. The system's voice reverberated through the area. "Boomin' warriors, climbers of the tower." The crowd echoed in unison. "Transmit, transmit, transmit." The system's voice continued. "Unyielding, from the 11th floor to the 20th floor. You'll be met with a test of faith. You must find your answer. The answer you find will reveal who you truly are. You must know yourself." Paladin leaned in close to Kim Gongja, her voice soft. "What a shame." Kim Gongja raised an eyebrow. "A shame." Paladin nodded. Think about it. Whoever made this tower put a lot of effort into it. That's a message they left for us. But no one cares. She shook her head. People should have viewed this with a little more emotion and admiration. The tower's existence, the skills, it's all an incredible... But we've already grown too accustomed to everything on the 10th floor. Kim Gongja blinked, a hint of surprise in his voice. You're unexpectedly a sensitive person. Paladin shrugged nonchalantly. I majored in music in the outside world. She smirked, adding, Do I seem more charming to you now that you know I majored in music? Kim Gongja chuckled. Sounds like it'd be hard to make money. Paladin raised an eyebrow. You're fat. Sword Emperor interrupted their banter, turning toward Kim Gongja with a warning. Oi zombie Odo, be careful. This human is suspicious. Kim Gongja groaned, clearly exasperated. Ugh, what now? Suddenly a voice from the back of the crowd called out, Are you the hunter Kim Gongja? Kim Gongja turned to find a group of reporters rushing toward him. His eyes widened in surprise. Paladin chuckled softly, raising her hands in mock apology. Oops, I guess the attention turned to us because of me. Sorry, Kim Gongja. I'll see you on the 11th floor. As the swarm of reporters surrounded him, shouting, Hunter Kim Gongja Nim, Kim Gongja stood there in shock, his mind racing. Wait, is this why you approached me? Paladin, already beginning to transmit, smirked. It's because I have the ability to read people. Think of it as showing my interest. Kim Gongja, bewildered, stammered. To then, what kind of person do you think I am? Paladin grinned, her tone teasing. That answer is in your heart. Before Kim Gongja could respond, she had already vanished, leaving him standing there, speechless. Kim Gongja's eyes widened. She just ran away. Sword Emperor smirked, crossing his arms. What did I tell you, zombie? I told you she was suspicious. A reporter pushed forward, microphone in hand. We're from Open Gate News. Please answer a few of our questions. Another reporter quickly jumped in, voice eager. Hunter Kim Gongja, is it true that you cleared the 10th floor on your own? The third reporter, more aggressive, asked, There are rumors saying that your simultaneous memberships in multiple guilds is a plan orchestrated by the large guilds. Kim Gongja muttered to himself, trying to keep his composure. I have to go to the 11th floor. What should I say? Another reporter pressed. What is your relationship with the Vigilante Guild? Are you really an E-class? Kim Gongja, clearly overwhelmed by the barrage of questions, tried to steady his breath in as the reporters closed in. Kim Gongja said, I'm going to clear the 20th floor too. The reporters fell silent, stunned. Kim Gongja continued, Then, good work everyone, transmit. And with that he began to vanish. One reporter shouted, What? Well wait, hunting him. The system's voice echoed through the air. Climbers of the tower, may luck stay on your side. Suddenly, Kim Gongja arrived on the battlefield, where Sword St. Marcus Calambry stood in shock. What is this? Marcus exclaimed, surveying the chaotic crowd shouted, Don't step back, stop the Demon King's army. For the Agim Empire. Humans and orcs clashed violently, the soldiers pushing forward. Do not back down. If we are pushed back, the Empire will fall, one soldier yelled. It's impossible, there are too many of them, another cried out. Sword St. Marcus Calambry gritted his teeth, looking around in disbelief. What is all this? What's going on here? A nearby soldier shouted, Do not give up, we are the elite. As a warrior caught an arrow mid-flight, he called out, Everyone, watch out for the arrows. Kim Gongja muttered to himself, What do you mean, what? The tutorial is over past the 10th floor. From now on, all stages will be like this. An old warrior approached, his voice full of urgency. Oh ho, warriors who will save the Empire, please help us save the Agim Empire. This port is the final lifeline of the Empire. For the capital to continue receiving support, we must secure it. One person in the back shouted, People in the front, please be quieter. We can't hear anything from back here. Sword Emperor called out. At least you've learned how to increase your vision, and hearing the old warrior turned to Kim Gongja. Warriors from another world, please lend your strength to the Agim Empire. A system notification sounded, Quest, secure the supply line, difficulty, F.A. Objective, disaster has struck the Agim Empire. The Demon King, the monster from the legends, has finally raised an army. The Demon King is cunning, evil, and strong, seeking to cut off the Empire's supply line first. Secure the port. This'll be the first step in saving the Empire. Failure to complete will prevent the 12th floor from opening, a blonde lady gasped. Quest? There's really a Demon King. What is the Agym Empire? Meanwhile, fighting raged on. They're so relentless, one soldier said. Let me read the quest too, his friend called out. How do we clear the quest? Someone else shouted. I'm not sure about the details, but we just have to take these things down, another soldier said. Sword St. Marcus Calambry decapitated a goblin, his blade cutting through it with ease. Follow the Sword Saint, a warrior shouted. Leading the charge. Stupid goblin bastards, a spearman yelled. For 6 years I've killed about 6,000 of your kind. Destroy 'em, kill 'em. Stay calm and push 'em back, another soldier urged. A system notification echoed. Welcome, Hunter Kim Gongja. Here is your reward for clearing the 10th floor. Kim Gongja glanced at the map, contemplating his next move. Sword Emperor grinned. Oh, I knew there'd be some overpowered special privilege you can't even train yourself, so you're resorting to these cheap little skills. Another system notification chimed in. Hidden stage bonuses. God's blessing is upon you. You now have access to all NPC abilities and locations from the 11th to the 20th. Sword Emperor's grin faltered. Huh? The system continued. The merchant God's blessing is upon you. You may select one item from the 11th to the 20th floors and own it. Sword Emperor cursed. Ah, this shitty luck-based game. Kim Gongja smiled faintly. This is a completely skill-based game. The system's voice explained further. Theme. The tower has set themes for the floors. The 1st to the 10th floor is Tutorial, a city for beginners to adjust to the tower, with hunting grounds set for practice. The 11th to the 20th is Demon King Quest. Kim Gongja turned to Sword Emperor. To beat the Demon King, you have 2 options: to have enough power to take on the army on your own, or to lead an army yourself. Sword Emperor raised an eyebrow. And you'll take the second option. Do you have that kind of talent? Have you ever led an army? Kim Gongja replied confidently. Of course not, but I'm confident I can obtain the A system notification appeared. Rank E, skill 5 of 5. Kim Gongja smirked. Oi, Mr. Sword Emperor. Did you say this game is a shitty luck-based game? Sword Emperor snarled. Yeah, I did. You little shit. Kim Gongja's smile grew. Well, I'll show you now why this is a completely skill-based game. The system flashed. Enju position. Conscription soldier location. 11th floor. Harbor City Concourse. Korea position. Normal soldier location. 11th floor. Harbor City Concourse. Sort position. Surf location. 13th floor. Baron's Land. Lapa Casabella position. Sergeant location. 14th floor. Fortified Valley Horum. Doff position. Blacksmith location. 12th floor. Empire's capital Hacamonia. The system chimed, bringing up the NPC list. Kim Gongja said, show only the NPCs on the 11th floor, and from those, show the top 100 in skill. The system responded, Caria position, normal soldier location, 11th floor, Harbor City Concourse. Sword Emperor, shocked, called out, Oi, zombie, this really isn't. Let's just take small steps to get stronger. I know you're a little cheater, but this is crossing the line. Aren't you embarrassed of yourself? Kim Gongja grinned. No, not at all. Kim Gongja said, show the NPCs with skills to lead soldiers. Only the top 3. A system notification sounded. Rohan Panbasa position. Captain of the Panbasa Knight Order. Sabas Agim position. Concord Division Commander. Kim Gongja then said, and show these 3 people's locations on the map. Suddenly, ping markers appeared on the map. Kim Gongja asked, and show my location as well. He smiled to himself. How is that? Still not a skill-based game. This decent privilege has turned into a really good privilege. Isn't it all based on how you use your wits? Sword Emperor, growing angrier, shouted, what a joke! How is that wits? That's just using tricks. Kim Gongja chuckled. Hoo-hoo! Being able to use tricks is also part of one's skill. Kim Gongja then thought to himself, the closest NPC to this blue dot, Commander Sarbas Agim. Kim Gongja approached Commander Sarbas Agim and said, "Commander Sarbas Agim." The commander turned around, noticing Kim Gongja. "Oh ho, a warrior from another world, what is your business?" He raised his helmet. Kim Gongja observed him and thought, "Nice moustache. You must have impressive skills as well." Kim Gongja said, "If you believe I'm a warrior, I have something to ask of you." Sword Emperor, watching from behind, shouted, "Run, you stupid NPC, this guy's a scammer." Commander Sarbas Agim raised an eyebrow. "Please tell me, if I can, I will try my best." Kim Gongja's voice dropped to a whisper, "Please kill me." Commander Sarbas Agim was stunned, his confusion clear. "Huh?" Kim Gongja continued, "I actually have a secret ability." Sword Emperor mumbled to himself, "Oh, such a thing." Kim Gongja said, "If I die, the entire battlefield receives a blessing from God. It's kind of a suicide. As long as the blessing activates, the Empire will win." Commander Sarbas Agim's eyes widened. What kind of blessing?" But then he shook his head. "I cannot take the life of a warrior, no matter the reason." Kim Gongja pressed, "Commander Sarbas Agim, think about what is more important. If you do not kill me, I will do it myself." He pulled out a knife. Kim Gongja said firmly, "This is the greatest way to help the Empire. I am simply requesting your assistance." Commander Sarbas Agim hesitated. "Request?" Kim Gongja's voice softened. "You are the commander in charge of the harbor city. Rather than end my own life or die at the hands of a monster, I would rather die at the hands of a patriot and a skilled leader." Sword Emperor, clearly tired of Kim Gongja's speech, muttered, "This is ridiculous." Kim Gongja added, "There isn't much time. Please, no matter how important the Empire is, to take the life of a man who came from another world to lend their help." Standing behind them thought to himself, "Is he really believing that?" Commander Sarbas Agim sighed deeply. "Oh, this world is cursed, for the Demon King's army to attack us, and for me to have to take the life of a warrior like this." Sword Emperor muttered from behind, "I think your brain is the one that's cursed." Commander Sarbas Agim closed his eyes in prayer. "Oh God, do not forgive us our sins. I will at least send you off without pain." Kim Gongja nodded solemnly. "I thank you truly." Commander Sarbas Agim lowered his helmet. "Please tell me your name." Kim Gongja closed his eyes, his voice steady. "Kim Gongja?" Commander Sarbas Agim closed his helmet once more, raising his sword. "Kim Gongja, I thank you. On behalf of the Empire, you are a true warrior." A system notification flashed. "You have died." Kim Gongja thought to himself, there is a say in a system notification immediately followed, completely copying NPC Sarbas Agim's skill. To himself, for every person who runs, there is someone who flies. Moments later, in the thick of battle, a spearman stabbed a goblin and shouted, "Stupid goblin bastards! For 6 years, I've killed about 6,000 of your kind." Kim Gongja, observing, reflected, there is also this saying suddenly. The others noticed something strange in the distance. A warrior asked, "What kind of hunter is he? Why is he riding that?" They saw Kim Gongja riding alongside Commander Sarbas Agim. Kim Gongja thought to himself, a saying by Gongja Nim. A system notification appeared. Battlefield perception. Rank, B. Potential, Master. The ability to analyze a battlefield. You can instinctively recognize the strengths and weaknesses of the enemy and find faults in their defense. Skill copied from NPC Sarbas Agim. Kim Gongja said, "This is the skill I've created. If we continue down this path and turn right, we'll run into a commander of the demon army. There are monsters nearby, but not too many. Let's wipe them all out." Commander Sarbas Agim replied, "Ah, yes, sir." He then shouted to his army, "The warriors of the goddess are on our side." Kim Gongja thought to himself, "This skill I've gained by acting as a military strategist has earned me the trust of the general." Commander Sarbas Agim shouted, "Wipe 'em all out, darn goblins." Kim Gongja looked at the map and said, "Ah, turn right." He thought to himself, of course, this is all thanks to the minimap, as well as the preparations made by repeating this day tirelessly. As a goblin was thrown and said, "Cough," Kim Gongja thought, Ah, that goblin's flying by today as well. Although it's not all thanks to the skill. A system notification appeared, Lafanta Agim's Holy Sword of Protection. Rarity, legendary. The Holy Sword of the Ancestors. Legend has it that the founder of the Agim Empire was bestowed this sword by the goddess herself. In a time when the line between myths and history was blurred, this founder disappeared, as did the Holy Sword. His last words of prophecy were, "On the fated day the promised one shall appear with the sword." The wielder of the sword will receive the absolute trust of the Agim Empire. Commander Sarbas Agim shouted, "The founder's holy sword! The heavens have not betrayed the empire. Long live the Agim Empire! Long live the warrior! Attack!" Kim Gongja said, "Good, very good. Such a view was worth clearing the hidden stage for." The Sword Emperor shouted, "Nonsense! What do you mean it was worth it? You traded it all away for some worthless item. It's just a shiny, useless sword. Why would you choose that one out of all the incredible items?" Kim Gongja responded, "Well, it's shiny, durable, and can be used to dazzle all the NPCs until the 20th floor. Don't you see? NPCs ain't just tools that hand out quests. They're also there to help beat those quests." A soldier shouted, "Oh, warrior, watch over us." An adventurer commented, "How come he's the only one who gets to ride with the general?" His friend responded, "He looks like a hunter, based on how he's dressed." Kim Gongja thought to himself, "This is exactly what I wanted." Those voices filled with jealousy and envy. The Sword Emperor said, "After everything I've taught you, you're using your enhanced hearing just to eavesdrop on gossip." Kim Gongja said, "Well, I do love attention." The Sword Emperor announced, "Annihilation of the demon army's left wing has been completed." Kim Gongja shouted, "Let's maintain this momentum, all the way to their base. We can win." A soldier shouted, "Follow the general, follow the warrior." Meanwhile, Sword St. Marcus Calambry Liao Fan the Viper and Heresy Inquisitor fought the goblins. The goblins, in fear, said, "That's the commander up ahead." Huh? A system notification appeared. 11th floor boss monster, Goblin King. The Goblin King shouted, "Stop him at once, you idiots! Go Rook! Go Rook!" Kim Gongja charged at the Goblin King, jumped, and used his skill. Skill activated. The Goblin King screamed in pain, "Go! Re-Rook!" as he was slashed in the throat by Kim Gongja. A system notification appeared. Goblin High Society rank F. As the Goblin King fell to the ground in one slash, the soldiers shouted in victory, "We've defeated the demons. The warrior of the goddess has defeated their army. Long live the Agim Empire." A goblin said, "Kaluk, K-R-S." They fled. The other adventurers shouted, "How dare they?" And they chased the fleeing goblins, shouting, "Solo hunting is our specialty. Kill 'em all." A system notification appeared. "Stage clear." A system notification appeared. "The 11th floor stage has just been cleared." A person shouted, "Did we just beat the 11th floor in one day?" A system notification appeared. "Calculating subjugators." A person said, "Did this seriously just happen?" A system notification appeared. "Calculation complete." Another person said, "We're just too strong, aren't we?" A system notification appeared. "Raiders' limit has been exceeded." Another person shouted, "Long live the Black Dragon Guild." A system notification appeared, displaying the top 10 raiders. A system notification appeared. Raid contribution rankings. Rank 1, Kim Gongja. Rank 2, Sword Saint. Rank 3, Heretic Questioner. Rank 4, Viper. Rank 5, Crusader. Rank 6, Black Witch. Rank 7, Countess. A person was confused and said, "Huh? Rank 1 doesn't have a nickname?" His friend responded, "Sword Saint is ranked 2. Isn't Kim Gongja the one who cleared the 10th floor?" Another person said, "Could he be some kind of secluded master?" The Sword Emperor, annoyed, said, "Master my foot, he's just a cunning lazy bum." Kim Gongja said, "Do you acknowledge it as a game of skill now?" The Sword Emperor turned around and said, "No, never." Kim Gongja thought to himself, "This ghost truly does value basic skills over abilities." Kim Gongja said to the Sword Emperor, Come on, don't pout like that. I promise I'll train my sword techniques diligently before the 20th stage. The Sword Emperor asked, Really? Kim Gongja responded, Of course. How could I not, with the Sword Emperor by my side? Rather, I should be the one begging you to train me. The Sword Emperor turned around, sparkling, and said, Right. Bahaha, you've finally realized my worth, zombie, Kim Gongja thought to himself. He's so simple. The Sword Emperor said, You know, the towers we've just climbed may be slightly different, but back in my day, Kim Gongja continued thinking to himself, he's really so simple. Commander Sabas Agim suddenly walked toward Kim Gongja and said, Warrior of the goddess, we were able to secure victory, thanks to you. Because of that, I offer you my sincere gratitude. Kim Gongja said, Don't mention it, we all did it together. Commander Sabas Agim said, It seems like I was worried for nothing. There was a prophecy, a long time ago, stating that there would come a time when the demon army would invade us. But with it would come a warrior, summoned from a different world. We were told not to worry, but I was skeptical. I had reservations about the resolve of this warrior fighting for a world that is not his own. He removed his gauntlet and said, It seems that it was merely an old man's needless concern. I offer you my gratitude, once again. They exchanged a handshake. Kim Gongja thought to himself, Despite being from different worlds, the meaning behind such a gesture is still the same. Perhaps it's because we are both humans, with two hands regardless of our origins. Commander Sabas Agim said, I'm looking forward to more of your accomplishments in the future. Kim Gongja replied, I'll try my hardest to exceed your expectations. A system notification appeared, calculating rewards. A system notification appeared, calculations complete. A system notification appeared, rewards will be distributed to the top raiders. A system notification appeared, top raiders will be granted first entry to the 12th floor. A system notification appeared, remaining raiders will be denied access until rewards have been distributed to the top raiders. Commander Sabas Agim said, Please take good care of our empire. The Sword Emperor said, Wait, only the top 10 are being summoned? Isn't old man Marcus going to be there too? What are you going to do when he flips and tries to kill you? Kim Gongja replied, You worry too much. What's the worst that can happen? Death, the Sword Emperor asked. Are you being serious? Kim Gongja said, I'm saying I've got a plan, so don't worry. A system notification appeared. Transfer completed. Kim Gongja said, Is this the royal palace of the Egim Empire? Liao Fan the Viper said, Oh ho, Anastasia commented. I didn't expect to come to a place like this. Heresy Inquisitor said, Hunter Kim Gongja, you were incredible. Kim Gongja said, Heretic questioner? He thought to himself, he's used his abilities to appear younger. Heresy Inquisitor said, I enjoyed watching your performance on the 11th floor. Who would have thought to use NPCs in such a way? You used a strange sword, though. Was that a reward from the 10th floor? Kim Gongja said, Well, yeah. Heresy Inquisitor said, As expected, to lead the raid on the 11th floor using the reward from the 10th floor. Your application is incredible. Kim Gongja said, No, you flatter me too much. Suddenly, Sword St. Marcus Callenbury attacked Kim Gongja, but Heresy Inquisitor blocked the strike with the holy technique, in a god, pushing Kim Gongja to safety. Heresy Inquisitor said, How surprising, Sword Saint. When did you transition into an assassin? Sword St. Marcus Callenbury said, Move. He pointed his sword at Kim Gongja and said, I'm going to kill that man. Heresy Inquisitor said, I'm sorry by that man. Are you referring to Hunter Kim Gongja? Sword St. Marcus Callenbury replied, Indeed, if you won't get out of my way, I'll be taking an arm from you as well. Heresy Inquisitor said, Well, that's a bit inconvenient. I have a lot of uses for my arm, and if Hunter Kim Gongja were to die here, the reputation of our 5 great guilds would plummet into the ground. Heresy Inquisitor added, Could you tell us why you're targeting Hunter Kim Gongja? Sword St. Marcus Callenbury said, I have no obligation to do so. Heresy Inquisitor said, So you have no intent of giving up? With that, he activated his skill holy technique, godly transmission. Suddenly, Liao Fan the Viper and Paladin jumped to attack Sword St. Marcus Callenbury, shouting, Hiya! but Sword St. Marcus Calambry blocked him easily and said, "You pesky flies." Liao Fan the viper grumbled, "This damn geezer, what the hell has he eaten to be this strong?" Sword St. Marcus Calambry said, "It's funny you'd say that. You're in your 40s now yourself." Liao Fan the viper snapped, "Are you insinuating that I'm old? Everyone knows you really start living at 40. Asshole," Heresy Inquisitor added. "Chunma Master? You are indeed old, you're almost blind." Liao Fan the viper said, "Isn't he supposed to be on my side?" Paladin said, "Focus on the fight in front of us, Viper." "The battle's not in our favor," Liao Fan the viper and Heresy Inquisitor said in unison. Heresy Inquisitor said, "Looking at how things stood, that is indeed the case." "Countess, give me 10,000 gold, please," Countess replied. "Compound interest at 15%. Interest will be compounded starting 3 months from now." "How does that sound?" She covered her face with her fan. Heresy Inquisitor said, "You misunderstood me. I wasn't asking to borrow the money." The Countess closed her fan and, now angry, said, "Oi, you're asking an entrepreneur for a donation." Heresy Inquisitor replied, "Yeah, it's dirty money anyway, so you can just offer it to the church and go to heaven." Countess said, "You're a bigger bandit than me." She withdrew 10,000 gold. As it rained gold, Heresy Inquisitor said, "Thank you." Heresy Inquisitor activated Holy Technique, Devotion, Holy Transfer, Physical Strengthening targets, Crusader and Viper. Buff duration, 300 seconds each. Gold shall link our hands. Procedure complete. Kim Gongja thought to himself, "The gold." Heresy Inquisitor said, "For the next 300 seconds, Crusader and the Chunmu Master will be noticeably different. Even for you, fighting me, Countess, Crusader, and the Chunmu Master will be a challenge. Furthermore, the Countess Vault has yet to be depleted. You're free to test which will come first, the Countess bankruptcy or your death." Countess, not amused, said, "What has my vault ever done to you?" Anastasia said, "If I were to give a word of advice, it won't just be the 4 of them. I'll make it clear now that I will fight with them." Hunter Kim Gongja made an official agreement with the 5 great guilds yesterday. Sword St. Marcus Calambry, confused, said, "Agreement?" Anastasia replied, "Yep, Hunter Kim Gongja has simultaneously joined all 5 great guilds with the authority of a guildmaster. And that's to say, Sword Saint, that to draw your sword against him is to do so against all of us. Can you really take all of us on?" Kim Gongja thought to himself, "This is the plan I've made." Kim Gongja said to Sword Emperor, "Remember what I told you on the 11th floor?" Sword Emperor said, "What do you mean?" Kim Gongja replied that there are 2 ways to face a strong opponent: either gain enough strength to crush an army alone, or gather an army yourself to fight for you. A solo player is powerless before a hunter with an alliance at his disposal. Kim Gongja turned to Sword St. Marcus Calambry and said, "Sword Saint, I'd like a word with you." Sword St. Marcus Calambry said, "A word?" Kim Gongja said, "Yeah, because I'm honestly quite taken aback. I'm not quite sure why you're after me. This may be the first time you've seen me, but I've always looked up to you." Kim Gongja thought to himself, he's not buying it. The Sword Saint probably still sees me as an assassin sent by the Black Dragon. "Before," he said to Kim Gongja, "to have dodged my blade, you must indeed be a top-class assassin." Sword Emperor said, "Well, you are quite something from a third party's perspective. To the Sword Saint in particular, you'd seem like a mercenary, raised by a major guild, much less a self-made hunter. Or perhaps, in cahoots." Sword St. Marcus Calambry said, "Oh, it's just the same in the tower as it is outside. Since I entered the tower, I've been relentlessly solicited by you, urging me to join your guilds, but I have always declined. Do you know why? To prove that it is possible in this tower to rise to the peak alone. Unlike the repulsive world outside, where things like lineage, nationality, and connections tie you down, here you can thrive alone with a single sword. You can succeed by your own potential and hard work. Such are the ideals I wish to spread. But what do you all do? All of you are just like rotten, stagnant water." Anastasia said, "For you, of all people, to say such a thing. You've been living in delusion, blinded by your own ego. If you had lent a hand, many hunters would have lived. You were the only one who wasn't there during the 5th floor clear, as well as on the 7th and 9th floors. If you had worked with us, our casualties would have been halved, Countess said. If you had used your outside connections to aid us, we wouldn't have had such problems with food either. And that's not all, is it? The organization and order within the tower would have been much more secure and stable, and for you to call us rotten, stagnant water. You are a child with no sense of responsibility. If you're the rank 1 player, show responsibility befitting your rank. Sword St. Marcus Callenbury remained silent. For grown adults to ramble on and on. Do you think I'm your grandfather or something? Move aside. If you plan on fighting, fight me with a sword. Sword Emperor said. That's the Gramps I know. Indeed, my one and only disciple. Kim Gongja thought. So they still fight, even among the 10 of them. He remembered the battle earlier. Do not back down. If we get pushed back here, it will be the end for our empire. It's not possible, sir. There are too many of them, Kim Gongja said, when even the NPCs of the 11th floor joined together to defend their country. Anastasia said, Hunter Kim Gongja, this has nothing to do with you. It's much more serious than you think. Kim Gongja said, I know, I get it, but we're hunters. Could we first, before anything, concentrate on clearing the 12th floor? Right now, we're pointing fingers and bickering amongst ourselves. We can't behave worse than the NPCs, can we? They're requesting our assistance. Though they may just be NPCs, their country is on the verge of destruction. As Commander Sarbas Agim said to me before, please take good care of our empire. The Kim Gongja said, we've been summoned as knights and heroes, and yet the fate of the empire is but an afterthought for us. What's there to be in a knight? We simply help do what others can't. Sword St. Marcus Callenbury said, you punk. Kim Gongja said, let's focus and solve the rest of the stages just like the 11th floor. Paladin said, Kim Gongja is right. Sword St. Marcus Callenbury looked back and said, Crusader? Paladin said, though I don't understand why you attacked Kim Gongja, now is certainly not the time to fight amongst ourselves. I'll sacrifice myself a little. Watch carefully. A system notification appeared. Rank A, lie detector. Effect allows the user to detect whether the target is telling a lie or not. It can be used on players, NPCs, and monsters. But what the target believes to be true may be objectively false. Whether to believe or doubt the statement is in your hands. Note, not everyone may believe what you say. Paladin said, as you can see, I have an ability that allows me to see through others' lies. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that this is the skill that has allowed me to reach the Vice Guildmaster rank. Sword Saint, Kim Gongja, if you would place your trust in me, I will guarantee the authenticity of your statements here. Doubt is a poison that eats away at humans, and the truth is its antidote. Kim Gongja thought to himself, this is the ultimate chance. Paladin continued, I don't know about the trust you've lost so far, but it should be enough to guarantee our collaboration for the 12th floor. Kim Gongja thought to himself, to disprove doubt that stemmed from a skill, with another skill. Kim Gongja said, that's fine by me. Sword St. Marcus Callenbury said, Paladin, you are the only one here who has never harmed a single person. All right, I'll trust you as well. Paladin said, I'll take that as you've both agreed. Now, Swordmaster, ask Kim Gongja a question. I swear on my honor and rank that I will be truthful about both of your responses. Sword St. Marcus Callenbury sheathed his sword and pointed at Kim Gongja. Hunter Kim Gongja, you have killed over 4,000 humans. Tell me whether this is true or false. Kim Gongja smiled and said, yeah. Sword St. Marcus Callenbury shouted in anger, look now, you bastards. You've hired this kid as an assassin and made him do. Paladin said, it is false. Sword St. Marcus Callenbury was confused. He just answered yeah to your question. That was false. Paladin said, that is to say, he has not killed over 4,000 humans. Do you have any further questions? Sword St. Marcus Callenbury, still confused, looked at Kim Gongja smiling. Like a kid, Paladin said, that was an absurd question to begin with. How could one person kill so many people? Sword St. Marcus Callenbury said, well, that's because you've raised this young man as a specialized assassin. Kim Gongja said, "That's right. I'm a specialized assassin." Paladin said, "False." Sword St. Marcus Callenbury couldn't even drop his jaw in shock. He said to Paladin, "Crusader, it seems I've misjudged your character. I thought for sure you would be truthful in all your responses." Paladin said, "That's why I asked you, right? In the beginning, whether you would really trust me. Are you going back on your word now?" Sword St. Marcus Callenbury looked at Kim Gongja and said, "Wait, there's no way he hasn't killed a single person." Kim Gongja said, "Ah, well, that's true." Paladin said, "Truth." Kim Gongja said, "But just one person." Paladin said, "Truth." Kim Gongja said, "And while it was indeed murder, he was someone who deserved it." Paladin said, "Truth." Kim Gongja said, "He tried to kill me first, and he was a massive serial killer." Sword St. Marcus Callenbury said, Paladin said, "It's all true." Sword St. Marcus Callenbury was shocked and couldn't even close his mouth. Heresy Inquisitor laughed and said, "What an amusing deduction. It would have been nice if that were true. But unfortunately, we only met Hunter Kim Gongja for the first time yesterday." Sword Emperor said, "Oh man, old man, what did I tell you? Relying on skills will only ruin you." Kim Gongja said, "Well, now I've answered all your questions. It seems there's been a misunderstanding on both ends. Good thing they were just misunderstandings. But if the guildmasters hadn't protected me, there's a high probability I would have died, right? I'm thinking now's a good time for an apology. What do you think, Sword Saint, sir?" As Sword St. Marcus Callenbury looked at Kim Gongja said, "I think at this point I need to receive an apology from you." "What do you think, Mr. Sword Saint?" Paladin said, "It is the complete truth. You are fully in the wrong." Anastasia said, "Apologize to Kim Gongja already, Sword Saint." Sword St. Marcus Callenbury sweated and said, I to that hunter." Kim Gongja and the others looked at Sword St. Marcus Callenbury. Kim Gongja thought to himself, how will he act? Though famed for being clean, the Paladin is still a member of the 5 great guilds. Will he claim that the Paladin lied? Kim Gongja thought of Sword St. Marcus Callenbury, "So you are all conspiring together to fool me." Kim Gongja thought to himself, or will he reveal his skill card to exonerate himself? Though it won't fit his image, it will be the perfect evidence. Sword St. Marcus Callenbury said, "Did you say your name was Kim Gongja?" Kim Gongja said, "Yes, sir." He said to himself, he might try to silence me by killing me, just like the Sword Emperor. Sword St. Marcus Callenbury said, "If you have truly never massacred innocent people." He opened his sword and looked at it. Kim Gongja thought to himself, oftentimes, when people are in the wrong, they make excuses or distrust others. Just like how the Flame Emperor revealed his evil nature by choosing to silence me. As Kim Gongja remembered his encounter with Yu Suha, he thought, "No, this isn't right," he thought to himself. With how the Sword Saint resolves this, he will decide on his own what kind of person he is. Sword St. Marcus Callenbury closed his sword and said, "Please let me try this again." He bowed down and said, "I sincerely apologize. I was wrong. I acted impulsively and made assumptions which nearly led me to harm someone. Up until now, based on my own judgment, I believed that anyone who deserved to die should be purged from this world, even if it was just a second sooner. I killed according to my beliefs. However, from this point on, that will never happen again." Kim Gongja thought to himself, instead of doubting the Paladin or making excuses with his skills, Sword St. Marcus Callenbury admitted his false words alone are meaningless. If there's anything you desire, I shall do it. Kim Gongja continued thinking, or even if he planned to kill me to silence me, I would still accept my faults. Sword St. Marcus Callenbury said, "At least that would be the gentlemanly thing to say. However, please spare me from taking my own life. I beseech you, please forgive this shameless old geezer, so that I may live on to reach the top of this tower." Kim Gongja thought to himself. He pleaded without hesitation to a greenhorn hunter. Sword St. Marcus Callenbury said, "I am sorry. I might be in the wrong. From now on, I will never kill anyone simply because of my skill, and I want to live, so please forgive me." Paladin said, "They are all true." Kim Gongja said, "So Sword Saint, Please teach me the sword. Well, to be more precise, from now on, please accept my request for a duel whenever I ask. I somehow ended up having a teacher, but I don't actually have anyone to duel with. Kim Gongja thought to himself, keep in my promise to the guardian spirit. It'll be great to partner up with the Sword Saint. It'll result in my gain and growth. If the Sword Saint could be my duel partner, I'm sorry. Please let me try this again. To be honest, I could forgive you without any payment. However, I would feel embarrassed about appearing to be the bigger man. I'm not someone that great. I would feel content with just someone as great as the Sword Saint not viewing me as his enemy. Swords were crossed, so I feel a bit ashamed to forgive you, pretending to be the bigger man. That's why I want you, the Sword Saint, to teach me your best sword technique. Kim Gongja thought to himself, fucking hell, I feel so embarrassed. How was the Sword Saint able to let out all his feelings like that? Paladin said, unbelievable. Amazingly, that was all the truth. Liao Fan the Viper said, are you being serious? You're okay not asking for anything, but you won't, because you're too embarrassed to act all high and mighty. Anastasia said, how should I say this? After watching children immaturely preoccupied with self-profit, it's surprising to see someone like Hunter Kim Gongja after so long. Heresy Inquisitor said, wow, what a beautiful sight. Someone who earnestly apologizes and someone who earnestly forgives. Humans fight without end. That's why a true apology is a holy miracle. Liao Fan the Viper said, stop being so noisy and shut the hell up. Heresy Inquisitor said, yep. Countess said, I hate to say this after such a happy ending, but doesn't this mean my 10k gold was wasted for nothing? Sword St. Marcus Calambry said, for me to have. Suddenly, Sword St. Marcus Calambry grabbed Kim Gongja's arms and said, I misunderstood such a kind young man. Kim Gongja said, excuse me? Sword St. Marcus Calambry shook Kim Gongja's hand quickly and said, you wanted a duel partner. Of course, it would be a pleasure. I'd be elated to do so any time. Kim Gongja said, Sir Sword Saint. Sword St. Marcus Calambry said, please call me Grandpa Marcus. Kim Gongja, shocked, said, pardon? Sword St. Marcus Calambry said, Gongja, how old are you, young man? You can't be older than 30. In the outside world I have a very kind granddaughter. If she ever enters the tower, I promise to sell her on your charms. Kim Gongja tried to look at Sword Emperor, processing what had just happened. Kim Gongja said, I'm really okay. Sword St. Marcus Calambry became serious and asked, are you implying that you're not interested in my granddaughter? Kim Gongja said, yeah. I'm sorry, but I'm just not interested at all in seeing someone. Sword St. Marcus Calambry replied, nonsense. The spring of love cannot be absent from youth. When you are in love, you are able to see what you couldn't before, such as your own depravity. Do you know how important it is to acknowledge your own depravity? It was the year I became 16. Sword Emperor said, what did I say? I told you he was a boomer geezer. Do you know what a boomer is? A boomer is someone who won't listen to others. If it were to be put nicely, you could say he has a spine. He has such a spine that he might ascend to godhood with it. Sword St. Marcus Calambry said, anyway, do not worry, young man. Kim Gongja thought to himself, I didn't know that, nor did I want to find out. Sword St. Marcus Calambry continued, from now on, I promise to properly look after you. Your clothes are very shabby. Let's start with a suit. Kim Gongja thought to himself, should I just kill myself and start today over? A system notification then appeared. Welcome, Hunter Kim Gongja. You ranked first while clearing floor 11. Receiving floor 11, clear reward. Sword St. Marcus Calambry said, I know a highly skilled tailor. Are you listening, young man? Kim Gongja thought to himself, since I ranked first, it's rewarding me first. I did hear about the clear conditions for floors 12 to 20 before my return. I wonder what the reward'll be. A system notification appeared. Please pick from the following 2 rewards. Goddess of Protection, Explanation. The goddess protecting the Ejim Empire was deeply moved by your efforts. The goddess has decided to bestow an important position in the empire to you. You may become the empire's chancellor, the great general, or even the head knight. Once you select your position, you will also receive abilities and status deserving of the position. O hero of the goddess, gather up forces with your fellow heroes and destroy the Demon King's core on floor 20. However, you may not select the goddess's reward if you select the Demon King's reward. Kim Gongja thought to himself, this I've heard of. The theme from floor 11 to floor 20 is role-playing. Hunters take up positions within the Agony Empire and receive abilities and status of those positions. The top contributors of the previous stage are given the exclusive right to select special positions before anyone else. A system notification appeared, displaying the special classes available for floor 12. Agony Empire's Chancellor, Agony Empire's Great General, Agony Empire's Minister of Finance, Agony Empire's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Agony Empire's Head Knight, Agony Empire's Head Royal Bodyguard. Kim Gongja thought to himself, before, I could only choose from positions like Security Guard A, but what is this Demon King's reward? A system notification appeared. Demon King of the Autumn Rain. Explanation. The Demon King was deeply moved by your efforts. The Demon King is asking for your cooperation in secrecy. The Demon King promises the same reward as the goddess, but with one additional gift. Kill all the top 10 heroes except for yourself. If you achieve such a feat, the Demon King's authority will immediately ascend you to floor 99. However, only one person out of the top 10 may receive the Demon King's reward. If multiple people choose this reward, it will randomly select one person. If no one chooses this reward, the Demon King's reward will perish. As Kim Gongja read again, kill all the top 10 heroes except for yourself. If you achieve such a feat, the Demon King's authority will immediately ascend you to floor 99. He then murmured, however, only one person out of the top 10 may receive the Demon King's reward. Kim Gongja said, What? Liao Fan the Viper asked, Why is he suddenly staring into thin air? Kim Gongja thought to himself, If I kill everyone here, I can make my way to floor 99 in one go. A system notification appeared. Hunter Kim Gongja, please pick from the following 2 rewards. Select from the following rewards. Sword Emperor said, It's a trap. It's most definitely a trap. Zombie, don't fall for it. Kim Gongja said, I know, of course it is, because there's no way that flame bastard wouldn't have chosen the Demon King's reward. The Demon King's reward. That flame bastard definitely would have chosen it, and yet he's still hanging out on the 40th floor, not the 99th. Therefore, the Demon King's reward has to be a trap. My guess is that the flame bastard first sided with the Demon King, then regressed upon realizing it was a trap. But to be honest, it does look tempting. Maybe it wouldn't be such a terrible idea to die to the boss of the 99th floor once. Sword Emperor said, Gongja, don't do it. Look at me. I'm the Sword Emperor. I climbed to the 99th floor alone and failed. And I'm telling you, this is a trap, a revoltingly horrid one at that. With your current skills, not only are you unable to kill the top 10 rankers, even if you somehow found a way to do so, you'd never be able to beat the 99th floor boss. Kim Gongja asked, Is the boss of the 99th floor really that strong? Sword Emperor replied, There isn't one. There's no boss monster on the 99th floor. But instead, there's something much more vicious. Ugh. Anyway, it's a trap. Don't say I didn't warn you, Kim Gongja asked. Just what is it? Sword Emperor replied, I hate to admit it, but you're doing well. Just keep doing what you've been doing, and you'll be able to clear the 99th floor automatically. Kim Gongja was silent and said, All right, we're throwing this run. Sword Emperor asked, Throwing it? Kim Gongja said, Yep, I'm only going to take the safest routes. I'm ignoring the rewards too. I'll just watch how things go for now. Sword Emperor said, The Goddess of Protection's reward too? Why? Kim Gongja replied, It's fine. Just think of it as losing the battle to win the war. Kim Gongja turned around and said, Everyone, the rewards for the 11th floor have appeared in front of me. Anastasia said, Really? That's great. I was just getting tired of waiting for the quest. Once you choose your reward, it'll continue through the queue to the next person. Kim Gongja said, Yep, I've already chosen my reward. I decided not to choose one. Suddenly, Anastasia and the Heresy Inquisitor looked at him with wide eyes. The group shouted in shock. What? A system notification appeared. You did not select a stage reward. A system notification said, the goddess of protection is questioning your decision. A system notification said, the demon king of autumn rain laughs menacingly. Paladin asked, Kim Gongja, what did you just? Kim Gongja said, Sword St. Marcus Calambry said so. I guess it's my turn now as rank 2. I see it now as well. I understand. So you've selected the safest choice. Kim Gongja continued, but was it really necessary to give up on a reward altogether? Perhaps it's just a foolish old man's concern, but being overly cautious can also lead to defeat. I'm grateful for your concern, but I have no regrets. Sword St. Marcus Calambry said, well, that's a relief, but it's a decision I have trouble following. I will be choosing the Goddess of Protection's reward, and I'll choose the Grandmaster of the Eggy Empire. Suddenly, knights walked in and said, we pledge allegiance to the mightiest swordsman of the Empire. Sword St. Marcus Calambry said, oh ho, so this is how the roles are decided. Heresy Inquisitor asked, Ah, I see, I understand now. It's similar to the Mafia game. Liao Fan the Viper said, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Heresy Inquisitor said, no need to worry, I shall explain it to you. Pay attention now, everyone. Liao Fan the Viper asked, the 99th floor, really? Anastasia said, this is. Heresy Inquisitor explained, yep, it's just like the Mafia game. For our convenience, let's refer to those who chose the goddess as knights and those who chose the demon king as traitors. But there's a significant difference from the Mafia game. The traitor has much more of a disadvantage than the Mafia. There are 9 knights and the Vice Guild Master of the Civil Militia on our side. Paladin said, that's true, and we can tell who the traitor is, as long as you trust me. Heresy Inquisitor continued, as you can see, this game is heavily skewed in favor of the knights. Hunter Kim Gongja, your decision to give up the reward seems unnecessary. While I respect your decision, I will choose the Supreme General of the Empire, Liao Fan the Viper said. So you're saying it's best to choose a reward, right? Well, I'm choosing the Captain of the Guards, Paladin said. Then I'll choose the Director of Foreign Affairs. It looks to be the most ordinary. Anastasia said, I'll be the Chancellor then. I trust you all won't side with the Demon King. The reward'll disappear on its own if nobody chooses it, Countess said. Don't worry, it'll be the Director of Financial Affairs, for me, obviously. A system notification appeared. Rewards distribution has ended. Sword Emperor asked, you sure this is okay? I know you said you're throwing this run, but isn't this too much? Kim Gongja said to Sword Emperor, nope, I'm sure this is the answer. Kim Gongja thought to himself, when should one hunt the prey, and when should one surrender the hunt and back off? A system notification appeared. All top contributors have completed their selections. Kim Gongja, Sword Saint, Heretic Questioner, Viper, Crusader, Witch, Countess. Rewards forfeited 1 person. Goddess's reward received 8 people. Demon King's reward received 1 person. All top contributors have completed their selections. Anastasia said, you fools, I told you not to choose the Demon King's reward. Heresy Inquisitor said, what a surprise. To choose the Demon King's reward when the odds are so oppressively against you. Liao Fan the Viper said, freak. This tension. It's just like when we cleared the first parts of the tower. I'm getting chills down my spine. There'll be heads rolling today. Countess said, you mean back in the days when the 5 great guilds used to be the 10 great guilds? I saw quite a few deaths back then, and caused quite a few deaths too. Anastasia said, Crusader, question everyone here with lie detector. Don't miss a single person. A system notification said, may luck be with you all. Anastasia continued, I'll say this now, as the leader of the Black Dragons. I don't know who the hell dared to betray us, but I promise to bring the traitor the most painful death. Crusader, use lie detector immediately to question everyone now. If even a single person here tries to avoid the question, I'll kill him immediately. Paladin said, I'll preface my interrogation by saying that I am not the traitor. Hunter Kim Gongja, you forfeited the rewards, so you by default ain't a suspect. But I will ask you regardless. Did you select the Demon King's reward? Kim Gongja said. No. Paladin said. It's the truth. Anastasia and Countess were relieved. Paladin then asked, Sword Saint, did you select the Demon King's reward? Sword Saint Marcus Callenbury said, I swear on my honor, I certainly did not. Paladin walked forward and Heresy Inquisitor said, It wasn't me. I don't want to die to the witch just quite yet. Liao Fan the Viper said, Frick you, it wasn't me. Countess said, Me neither. Paladin said, They're all speaking the truth. And then she asked Anastasia, Witch, did you select the Demon King's reward? Anastasia grinned in anger and said, No, it wasn't me. Paladin said, Truth. Liao Fan the Viper said, Wait, if it wasn't any of us 10, then who the hell is the traitor? A system notification said, The Goddess of Protection laments your foolishness. A system notification said, The Demon King of Autumn Rain laughs cheerfully. Paladin said, Don't be surprised. The traitor may possess an ability that hides or can conceal lies. Or, though it may sound ridiculous, there may be one among us who has multiple personalities. It's not impossible. Sword Saint Marcus Callenbury said, Or it could just be that you are the dirty traitor. Anastasia said, Are you suspecting us right now? Sword Saint Marcus Callenbury said, Indeed, even if the Crusader were not lying, it's possible she could have lied for you 5 great guilds. Paladin said, Sure, logically that's certainly a possible theory. I could indeed be the traitor. But what's important is that we do not lose our cool. We've overcome countless obstacles so far, if we can trust each other this time too. Heresy Inquisitor said, Ahaha, you're quite innocent. Trust, you say. What a beautiful word. But it takes a long time to build that trust. It took 10 years just for us to collaborate with each other and be called the 5 Great Guilds. In other words, I find it difficult to trust anyone, barring the 5 Great Guilds. Not all of us have the patience or time to spend the next 10 years building trust with each other. Paladin said, Wait, this ain't the time to be prioritizing efficiency. Heresy Inquisitor, please. Heresy Inquisitor used his skill, Holy Technique, Divine Body. Viper, you take care of the rank 10. Heretic Questioner, you can't! Paladin shouted as Heresy Inquisitor used his skill, Holy Technique, Divine Transmission. As Liao Fan the Viper finished off rank 10, a system notification appeared. A warrior has died. He was not the Demon King's subject. Sword Saint Marcus Callenbury said, You disgusting bastards, you've finally shown your true colours. Another system notification came. A warrior has died. He was not a servant of the Demon King. Sword Saint Marcus Callenbury seethed, You haven't changed at all since back then. Stop immediately or I'll... Heresy Inquisitor said, Holy Technique. A system notification flashed. A warrior has died. A system notification added, He was not a servant of the Demon King. Heresy Inquisitor wiped the dirt from his hands and said, It wasn't any of those 3. The situation's gotten rather complicated. I was certain it would be one of them, which means the culprit is among us. Our 10 years of trust are about to crumble. Paladin said, I told you to wait. I asked you to wait. I pleaded with you to remain calm, and yet just like back then you... Heresy Inquisitor said, How weird you say that, Vice Guild Master. I'm very calm right now. I calmly came to the conclusion that those 3 had the highest probability of being the traitor. Suddenly, Sword Saint Marcus Callenbury cut his arms. Heresy Inquisitor said, I was ultimately wrong, but on the bright side, the media won't have access to this info. Suddenly, Liao Fan the Viper fought Sword Saint Marcus Callenbury head-on. You freakin'! Liao Fan the Viper yelled. As Heresy Inquisitor looked at his arms flying through the air, he shouted, Oi, you goddamn cultist! At least let us know before you kill someone. Liao Fan the Viper said, This has gotten rather complicated. This is a serious problem now. Without both of my hands, I can't perform my holy techniques. I'm sorry, everyone. It seems I won't be of much help alone anymore. He looked at his severed arms in the distance, slowly realizing the weight of what had happened. Liao Fan the Viper said, That's not the problem. Someone come help. I'm gonna die. Paladin said, Kim Gongja, I'm leaving everything to you. Only you who did not select a reward could be guaranteed as innocent. So please, I'm begging you, stop the Sword Saint. As all of the guild leaders fought against Sword Saint Marcus Callenbury, Heresy Inquisitor said, That's a great idea. The majority rule in a situation like this is inefficient. We should give authority to the one who is certainly not the traitor. He put medicine on his severed arm and said, I too will honor any decision Hunter Kim Gongja makes. I will not trust my own judgment until the traitor has been caught. Kim Gongja spoke to Sword Emperor. Oi, Sword Emperor, am I fated to be liked by psychopaths or something? I just got handed full authority by the Vice Guild Master of the Civil Militia and the 10,000 Temple Guild. Sword Emperor said, You've been promoted. Congrats. Wasn't this why you gave up the rewards? Kim Gongja replied, I've kind of just been awestruck this entire time, honestly. There seemed to be a lot of tension between the rankers, and I thought there'd be a fight should a traitor appear. So I gave up the reward, but I never thought it would get this bad. God, I feel so bad for the 3 people who died for nothing. I guess I'll have to regress at some point. A system notification appeared. You did not select a stage reward. Kim Gongja said to Paladin, Oi, I have a question. Paladin replied, Yep, Kim Gongja said. He's always been like that. Paladin said, Religious conflicts were a serious issue when we first entered the tower. There was constant fighting amongst different religions and sects. That's when the heretic questioner showed up and killed them all. This is the only way he's ever known. Unification of religions and new horizons. Kim Gongja thought to himself, I thought the religions came to an understanding peacefully. I guess the media just covered it up. Liao Fan the Viper screamed, I'm gonna die. Frick, I'm really gonna die. Heresy Inquisitor said, I realize that my lapse in judgment has caused trouble, and I'm sorry. I realize I sound shameless in requesting this, but Hunter Kim Gongja. Liao Fan the Viper shouted, The Chenmu Master is about to die, you bastards. Sword Saint Marcus Callenbury said, In exchange for full authority, won't you stop the Sword Saint? Kim Gongja said, You damn, no. Let's talk in depth about you later. And he shouted, Sir Sword Saint, if you've bowed down to me, it means that you have at least some respect for me, so hear me out. Please stop fighting. Let's talk it out. As Sword Saint Marcus Callenbury continued to fight, Kim Gongja suddenly said, I will ask out your granddaughter. Sword Saint Marcus Callenbury noticed him. Kim Gongja continued, All right, I'll go on a date with her if she comes to the tower. So please, just do me a favor. I might even become your grandson-in-law. Sword Saint Marcus Callenbury stopped. I'm not forgiving him. And I certainly did not stop fighting because of what you said. I've simply realized from trading blows that I could kill him whenever I want. So, I suppose it wouldn't be too late to rip these bastards apart after I've caught the traitor. Kim Gongja thought to himself, Why are you telling me this? Paladin said, Wow, that's true. Let's kill him later if at all. Liao Fan the Viper asked, Are we done? Kim Gongja replied, Now please, let's calm down. We don't know who the traitor is. We may not even be able to find the traitor. But that comes second. We can get past this even without finding the traitor. Paladin asked, How so? Kim Gongja continued, Just the fact that the traitor selected the Demon King's reward means that they're after our heads. He looked at the system notification which read, You could become the Emperor's Chancellor, General, or even the Head Knight. Choosing a position will bring with it its respective skills and status. Young hero, unite your strength with those of your fellow men and destroy the Demon King's core, located on the 20th floor. Kim Gongja said, It says the Demon King's core is located on the 28th floor. Let's not focus on how to find and kill the traitor. It's a trap. The traitor could be terrified right now, shaking inside. Or the system could have selected the traitor on its own. Let's all kill the Demon King first. If the Demon King dies, the reward disappears too. It's a simple problem. A system notification flashed. The Goddess of Protection's eyes are shining. Another system notification followed. The Demon King of Autumn Rain clicks his tongue. Kim Gongja said, No matter how the tower tries to test us, the solution will always be simple. Let's climb the tower. A system notification appeared. The 12th floor quest is being given, Kim Gongja added, and break the Demon King's core. Thank you for watching Rebirth Genesis. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you will not miss the next chapter of the journey. Your support keeps this rebirth going strong. Until next time, stay sharp and keep rising beyond your limits.